everybody! We are back to bring you guys all the thrilling emotions of the new season, the 7th season of Brazilian Free Fire League. The LBFF season 7 is on its way. Finally, I've waited so long for this day to bring you guys all the emotions for a long season that we're having here. And of course, I would never bring it all by myself. I have a new company by my side, a new co-pilot to bring you guys all the emotions in this English, in this international broadcast for you guys to understand and to know the Brazilian scenery. I'm cited by my new co-pilot, Isa13. How are you doing, Isa?
Hi everyone, I'm Isa and I am so glad to meet you today for the 7th season of the Brazilian Free Fire League, and I can't say how excited I am to be here beholding how the top 18 teams of Brazil play, or better, not play, but teach how to play Free Fire Brazilian style.
And of course that we're talking about new stuff, my new companion here for this season. We have lots and lots of changes in the format of the league, in the players that are changing teams. We had lots and lots of changes, and we have a lot of new stuff to bring you guys. And of course, we are ready. We prepared a video package for you guys to understand what is going on, what went on through the mid-season, the off-season, for you guys to understand how this season will start as of right now. Check it out.
Dali, platinados, Samucão na cal. Como vocês estão? Só na estileira? Nevou por aí? Bora derreter toda essa neve. O mapa Alpine ainda não veio pro competitivo, família. É hora de praia, calor e Free Fire. Vamos que vamos pra LBFF mais hypada da história. 7ª edição, rapaziada. Estreia 5 de fevereiro, a grande final, 16 de abril. Segura a bronca que vai ser vapo. Esquece. Sorte que o servidor aguenta o tranco, né? É só squad pesado. 18 times divididos em 3 grupos. Até aí basicão, né? Primeira novidade. Vai ter rodada tripla toda semana. O avião decola sábado e domingo à 1 da tarde. E na segunda-feira a trocação vai rolar um pouquinho depois, às 8 da noite. São 27 rodadas caçando ponto pra saber quem é o mais brabo. Por falar em pontuação, nada muda, meus crias. Garantiu buia? 12 pontos na conta. O segundo, 9 e por aí vai. Os 12 primeiros se classificam para finalíssima. Só elite, papai. Agora se liga na mudança. Quem terminar entre 14º e 17º vai disputar o grupo de acesso. Batalha pesada contra os times que ficaram de 2º a 9º lugar na Série B. Já o 13º fica que nem vidro elétrico que parou de funcionar. Não sobe nem desce. E tem mais. Agora, só o Lanterninha cai direto pra Série B. Ave Maria! Pra seguir a lógica, só o campeão da Série B sobe automaticamente pra Elite. Tá sabendo que o Brasil tem 2 vagas pro Mundial de Free Fire, né? O campeão da LB7 se classifica direto pro Mundial de Sentosa, enquanto o vice disputa as classificatórias em busca das 2 últimas vagas pra decisão. Bora preparar o passaporte! E a coroa mais desejada da LBFF? Tá na febre, né, moleque? Atenção! Vai virar MVP o jogador com mais abates na fase de classificação. Ouviu bem? Só na fase de classificação. Pra final, a gente guardou uma surpresinha pra vocês e eu prometo que não é o boné, mas essa novidade eu vou deixar pra contar um outro dia. E dessa vez as mudanças não estão só no regulamento. O crono foi nerfado e deve impactar na escolha de personagens dos players. Algum palpite sobre qual combo de habilidades deve ser utilizado nessa LB? Mas a estrela da temporada deve ser a função reviver. Lembrando que antes dela te derrubar, ela te humilha. Então, dá-lhe estratégia. É, família, deixa o caldeirão da LBFF 7 ferver. Tá tudo muito novo, tudo muito intenso. O torcedor pode berrar, pode espernear, mas também tem que votar, fechou? Atenção! Em vez do brabo da galera, agora o público vai eleger o melhor estreante da temporada. O critério é fácil, só vai concorrer ao prêmio quem disputar a Série A pela primeira vez. E aí? Já escolheu seu preferido? Na escolha dos melhores da semana, tem novidade também. Os casters dão espaço pro FF Squad, então se liga aí. Os eleitos serão os 4 jogadores da semana que mais pontuarem no FF Squad. No final, os melhores da semana disputam uma vaga na seleção LBFF. Quem vota? Jogadores e técnicos. Tudo igual, tropa. Por falar em FF Squad, bateu aquela saudade de montar seu time, né, família? Então, brota no ffsquad.com.br e já se prepara para escalar o seu squad. Dessa vez não tem desculpa que a internet tá lenta, hein? Vai ter capa, granada e muita trocação na Rede TV aos sábados e domingos a partir da 1 da tarde. E no canal Space às segundas-feiras às 8 da noite. Curtiu a resenha, papai? Então, bora meter o pé que a LBFF mais insana de todos os tempos decola no dia 5 de fevereiro. Começou!
So,
Wow.
lots and lots of new stuff for the season. The format of the season is different. We're having more and more Free Fire. We are having 3 days of broadcast, Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays. And at Mondays, we'll have late dinner with you guys, right, Isa?
Right, and Marcelo, I really do think that the words for this season are news and change, because we all know that Free Fire is a game that is constantly evolving and growing, and with that we have some big changes around here to spice up the championship. And of course we have a lot of newcomers, we have changes in the game, in the meta game itself, in the veteran teams. And all of those changes are going to be very fun to see during this season.
And of course, it's not only the format, is not only the newcomers, we have the new functions and the new metagaming. We have the revival function that will bring more and more kills for the players and for the teams, that will impact on the rankings, on the standings. And I expect with a longer season, with more kills being awarded to the players, we will probably go through the mark of 1,000 points for the first time in the history for some of those teams, right, Izzy?
Yes, we were talking about that yesterday, and
Yeah.
I was kind of doubting you, but now I really do think that we are going to hit that 1,000 points mark, especially because of the revival, like you said, and because it's a longer season, and I am hoping to see some new teams coming to that mark, because it's always so nice to see teams that come from the B series that get here and show that Free Fire isn't only for the elite. Free Fire is a game that is available for everyone to become a professional. You just need to make an effort and you can get there as well.
And everyone can become elite. There we see the groups for this season 7 of LBFF. We have Group A with B4, Cruzeiro, Netshoes, Miners, Nitrox, Team Liquid, and Vivocade. Group B with 00 Nation, BD Vasco, Fluxo, God Unidas, Loud, and Real Esports. Group C, we have Corinthians, Liberty, Los Grandes, Magic Squad, Metagaming, and Tropa, once again, in Serie A. Today we will have groups A and B going at each other, and we will have the opportunity to present some of those newcomers for the guys, right, Isa?
Right. I am really looking forward to seeing how they do, especially because we have today debuting for the very first time in the LBFF history, Black Dragons Vasco, who was the champion, the consecrated champion of the B series last year, and also 00 Nation that also got up by the B series. And both teams come with very strong lineups, which means that we have all the veterans and these two really strong teams. So we have a lot to expect from all 12 teams playing today.
And by their sides, we have Cruzeiro coming back to Serie A. We have Team Liquid coming back. So the metagaming is not changing only because of the changes in the game, but the changes in these lineups that are coming to get to the elite of Free Fire. And of course that there are some changes in between those players, in between those lineups. And there is a player that caused a lot of fuss during this off-season with a transfer that everybody knew it would happen, and it ended up happening, right?
Well, it did. But I'm going to pretend I don't know who you're talking about, so I can give a little bit of suspense here.
So before we talk about him, let's talk about all the changes that we've had during this off-season for the guys to know which teams will have which players. Let's check out the Kappa market. Get it! Season 7. What What's up then, sir? Still around? So unleashed and muscle for the most insane LBFF in history. Even more lost than a polar bear in Amazon. More lost than Cebolinha with the letter R. Don't worry, that is on to tell you the main news in the Cape market. Hold on. You know that little joke that if you're winning, don't exchange your team? Champion before has 3 changes for the season. Jubinha, Renan, and Chinês have arrived. Prozin, Juan 7, and Juan are gone. Juan will reinforce Los Grandes. The orange wave is huge, Daddy. Be careful not to fall out of board. Let's follow the flow. The Fluxo, little troop. You know who's here?
Ousado chegou.
Who? That's right, the Pitbull. Ousado left Corinthians for Fluxo. Check out the big boy's hype. Corinthians also hired the man of God, Memgod. Get it? Memgod. Haha. Will be also Latin are the fans of Team Liquid. Champions of the first LBFF comes with a brand new and heavy lineup, Daddy. Look at the reinforcements. Phoenix put on an MTS, the MVP of the game. Nora decided to seek new challenges. He left Loud for Cruzeiro. Hey, whoa, wait! Screenwriter? Sure, partner. Lost's little heart is still beating like a town beats samba school drum set. All discontinued, Allah.
Eu espero que eu consiga levar isso de modo... Ixi.
Is it hard, Brabinho? The team is Scout Loud. Meta Gaming lost their last team and made the move from the last split. Only Kaweri, Pão, Rafa, Eric, and Mamute have arrived to strengthen the movement. We are already changing our shirts.
Tá certo.
So that's it, my troop. Welcome to Who's Coming. See you later for Who's Gone. Everybody's coming all in LBFF Season 7. Hold on that it's Vapo, forget it! And now we know that we have very few squads with the same lineup we've had last season. And those changes are impactful, right, Isa?
Right, all teams have changed so much, which means there's going to be a lot to observe in terms of gameplay and game style changes. And of course, we had a larger window of transference in this season, which means that all teams had a lot of time to work on their new players, and I am really looking forward to see how this goes.
And the most impactful change was?
Well, in my opinion, I'm going to be very individual here. I'm going to say 2 names that were very strong in this market of Kappa. And the first one for me is Vitinho XP, that came from Team Cada Solid. He is an amazing player. He was in the most valuable player chart in his very first split. So that says a lot about a player. And I think that he really is going to bring that extra something that Corinthians needed, because we always see Corinthians just almost hitting that title in the finals but never getting there. And I'm really thinking that they are going to come off very strongly for this season. And of course, I can't not talk about it because everyone's been talking about it. Ousado in Fluxo was a very strong player as well, a very strong newcomer. And it really shows how Fluxo is trying to be a more aggressive team. And I think they're also one of the favorites for this season.
So if you want to understand better the impact that Ousado is having on this Kappa market, check this out and stay tuned.
Pra mim, não fez muita diferença. Fez porque, pô, é o fluxo e tal, mas eu falo em questão do jogo, eu vim fazer a mesma função, então é normal pra mim. E sobre a convivência com os moleques, adaptação, já tinha convivência muito tempo atrás, então quando eu cheguei aqui não mudou muita coisa. Jogava com Cias no 4x4 dos gigantes, então, desafio de gigantes no caso. Então não muda muita coisa, ele é brabo e a gente já vinha amassar junto aí agora no mapa aberto. E é isso, ser treinado pelo K9 É bravo, tá ligado? Ele é muito bom, sabe trabalhar muito bem, pega no pé quando a gente erra, e é isso. A gente tá treinando bastante e vamos vir, vamos amassar aí, dar o melhor de nós, e é isso, segue o fluxo.
This changes a lot for the season. We are having a player that is really aggressive, coming to a team that values booyahs, that values punctuation. This guy can impact the game.
Yes, Fluxo is a team that has had an incredible performance in the Brazilian Free Fire League. They came into their first split and already won. They got the title for LBFF 5, and in LBFF no, I'm sorry, they got the title in LBFF 4.
Yeah.
In the 5th, they were in 3rd, and in the 6th, they were in 3rd as well, if I'm not mistaken. And that is an amazing performance. That, if I'm not wrong, they're the only team that did this well, being so new in the competitive scenario. And it is very interesting to see that they got a player that is coming to make the team more aggressive, and I really think that Fluxo is going to be one of the favorites, if I can say that, because it's very hard to say, for the title this season.
As John Mayer would say what you need to say, because we're getting ready and closer to the beginning of the LBFF Season 7. The maps are on the screen, and of course we will keep the same rotation of maps for you guys to see. We will have Purgatory, Bermuda, Purgatory, Kalahari, Bermuda, Purgatory, Kalahari, Bermuda, and we were talking about Fluxo, but we have lots and lots of teams that thrive in Purgatory, like Corinthians, that will not be playing today, but it's an amazing team playing in Purgatory. We have the new team Liquid, Loud, teams that thrive in Purgatory. What do you expect for this first map?
Well, I expect a lot for this first match. It's very difficult to say because we don't know where the players' heads are at. It is normal to have some good and bad days, and because it is the first day, it doesn't make it any different. But I think that all teams are going to be striving to get a good performance to show that they're here in the A series, in the highest level of the competitive scenario, because they deserve it and they have a lot of skill. But if I'm going to say, my expectations are a lot depending on the character skills that these teams choose to use, because as we saw just before in our informative video, Chrono was nerfed, and with that we have a lot of opening for new characters, new active skills, new passive skills, and we are going to be having so many different positions, so many different kinds of gameplays due to that. And I think that whichever team adapts better is going to do better subsequently. It is going to be so cool, so fun to watch how this study of characters is going to affect our players and our teams, and I am really looking forward, Marcelo.
And of course, the new metagaming with the changes in the sniper rifles, the change of the support position, the support role, it's completely different right now. We will have to see which players will adapt better to that new role, to that new style of playing the support role, right? You might see some differences in that kind of role, and maybe in the lineups, in the formations of the lineups for the games, right?
Yes, and we saw a very standard and characteristic kind of gameplay from most teams. Not everybody, but we have a lot of teams that usually try to position themselves in the safe zone and then wait it out. And we had just a couple of teams who used to do a rotation that was very, very delayed, and just a couple of teams that usually make their game more aggressive. And right now I am really hoping to see a lot of gameplay differences so we can say which teams are adapting better to this new meta game, and that is the most important part of the competitive scenario. It is to adapt to the meta game, and yeah.
And of course, join us on the discussion for this week with hashtag LBFF7, and join us on the chat of YouTube. I'm bringing you guys to the broadcast. Thalita Rodriguez sending you an I love you. And we have Sakib Sheikh over here, TPX Rayquaza, the Pokemon. Ninja Patil, please tell us where you guys are watching us from. We want to know where are you right now, because it's fun. It's nice to know that we are bringing Brazilian Free Fire all around the world, right? Right, is it?
Yes, I am so happy to be having a lot of people watching with us in our broadcast and really praising our Brazilian Free Fire because we know and we always say it, it is the highest level of the Free Fire competitive scenario, at least for us Brazilians. And it is so great to have people from all around the world also praising it.
And the guys are already sending us their locations. We're having people from India. However, we're clear to take off, so let's hit the skies! Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight R1D1 heading straight to Purgatory. This is your captain Marcelo Ferrantini, and by my side, my co-pilot Isa invites you to loosen your seatbelts, fasten your boards, cause it's time to drop Isa!
Welcoming you guys to our first map of the Season 7 Purgatory, the battlefield between groups A and B, and commencing as of right now. Any and all exchanges of fire are very encouraged, and we are saying hello again for Before, Netshoes Miners, Nitrox, Vivo Cage, Fluxo, Loud, and Real, and double welcome Cruzeiro, Team Liquid, Black Dragons, Vasco, and God Unidas. Now let's check out if we are going to have any drop call fights, right, Marcelo?
And the focus starts on the start change of the season. Ousado already dealing with his new teammates. He had time to prepare for the season. Lots and lots of time because this was a large off season and we already have the first blood! Iago getting the first blood of the season onto the player of Team Liquid. It was Phoenix that went down and now Team Liquid is taking off. They could not fight Cruzeiro over there and they had to take off before also in the locations before once again trying to take the central zone of Purgatory and getting the first blood.
And Marcelo, this was a very difficult airplane route for Team Liquid, which is why they fell and sit in a place so far away from their usual drop call, which is Marble Works. Since the airplane route just cut it right through Brasilia, not right through Brasilia, but a little bit up the map, they couldn't get to Marble Works so fast, and Cruzeiro was very smart and were able to pick a kill from Phoenix, and Phoenix is the first eliminated of the 7th season of the Brazilian Free Fire League.
Less than 1 minute for him to go back to the lobby. Now he will wait. He will come back in Kalahari. He just didn't leave the plane. He went straight to Kalahari. That's what he did. And now we have the players from before keeping the same strategy they used last season. Going quickly to the center of the map, dropping from the airplane on the center of the map and defending their position.
Yes, before in their standard call, Brasilia, and this was a team that changed a lot. Let's point out some of the changes, and before they got Chinese from Nitra.
Shiznei!
Shiznei, no, I can't. Chinese.
I'm gonna break you. You just wait, I'm gonna break you.
Well, I'm going to start laughing in this broadcast, and no one's going to like it because my laugh is very weird. But we have Shiznei, okay, Shiznei, getting to the before team, and we also have who, Marcelo?
We also have Jubinha coming in for this before squad. They lost Juan, an important player, and they got Renan as well, right?
Yes, Renan, who was a base player for before for a long time, and he just went up. So this is to everyone who's watching and who is looking for ways to inspire themselves. Renan was a player from the base, and he is a very skillful, a person who works very hard in what he's doing. And
I love to see 1-9 using the Saitama
Oh my
skin.
god. No, I can't believe you interrupted me to say that.
I needed to do it. I needed to do it.
Well, anyway, let's talk about now 00 Nation. That is a team that is coming fresh from the B series. And they are with 1-9 that we already know. We already know 1-9. He has the most famous bald spot in the LBFF.
He is the Brazilian Saitama.
Well, I think that alongside with Samuka right now, they're both kind of bald.
Samuka just patched the bald spots. When I met Samuka, he had less hair than he has today.
Wow, that's. And look, Team Liquid was the first to use the revival resource, which is very, very, very high in the meta game right now, and they were able to save Phoenix. So Phoenix was the first eliminated, but now he kind of isn't. But isn't?
But he honored his name. He's the Phoenix. He revived from the ashes.
Right.
His reason from the ashes, and now he's back into
That
play.
was a good reference. Congratulations. That was the first good
I got
one.
the good ones. I got the good ones as well. But we have Team Liquid bringing Phoenix back, and this changes the game a lot. The teams will be more aggressive to start the game, and now we have Evocate going after the players from 0-0 Nation, and Eric will put Modestia down, but Modestia brings it back and puts Dudu FFX to the floor. Lots of players going down. That God using the Mag 7 puts one more player down. Cruzeiro is getting to the fight as well. Eric is trying to keep the team alive for 0-0 Nation. Evocate still have 3 players up. That God will finish off Eric and will go after 1-9, but 1-9 uses the Mag 7 to put that God down. Nando 9, he's rushing, he's trying to use the MP40, and 0-0 Nation is the first team eliminated in LBFF Season 7 with 3 kills coming to the hands of Evocate and 1 to the hands of Cruzeiro, Isa.
Yes, and I am very happy right now because they are going to save Modestia, who is in my FF squad. So if he wasn't saved, if the revival didn't exist, I would be very upset. But very, very well played for Evocate. And I would just like to point out, Marcelo, that this kind of confrontation just didn't happen purposefully in the last season, because teams were so well studied of each other, so aware of each other, that they didn't just run into the map like that. But I think that now that we have so many new teams, so many new players, and everyone's kind of adapting their gameplay style, we are going to have a lot more confrontations like that, in which the teams kind of seem to run into each other out of the blue.
And Modestia is coming back to the game
Yay,
once
my
again.
FF squad is so happy.
He is back to the game with the revival function, and we will probably have longer games because of that function. We will have more teams getting to the end game with 4 players alive, or at least 3 players alive, because they will be gathering coins to revive their teammates.
Yes, and we really need to talk about how important coins are in this metagaming. And I think that players are going to even stop buying, like last season we saw that it was very important to have coins to buy grenades and glue walls, but now it's going to be important to keep their coins so they can save if a player in a way makes a mistake and ends up being eliminated. And now it is so easy to just get to a store and save, but General is already taking a lot of bullets there.
He was going akimbo with the two pistols, the 2 revolvers, and he took a lot of damage, and he will be forced to retreat to get together with his teammates. It seemed to me that it was the Netshoes Miners squad that was getting to him.
Yes, Vivocage that doesn't have the strongest loot. General is without any vest of any kind. So I think they're really going to have to stay in that position, and they probably will do that and kind of farm more ice walls, more ice barriers, and just keep their marcation very good, be aiming their adversaries. And we are also now on the screen with Netshoes Miners, which is the only team that hasn't changed anything since last season. All other teams have had at least one change in the squad.
And now we might have this confrontation going on between Fluxo and Real. The ice walls are already up. Fluxo is trying to go uphill, but Real has got the position. VM7 is well positioned to try to fight. tThe is right near him, and they will go after the fight. Cias with the grenades. He was the MVP 2 seasons ago, and now he's trying to take back the crown. He's going over, he's trying to have Ousado by his side. Ousado is trying to flank the players from Real. He uses the chrono, and now he surrounds it. CS puts the first player down with the grenade. Now he rushes, tries to go over, tries to take away the players from Real. Japa Excel is already on the floor, but he will go back again. He will go back down with a nice grenade. Triple X comes over. He uses the Mag 7 to put Fak to the floor. CS gets him and takes him to the floor. The advantage is with, once again, Fluxo. Now it's a one-on-one fight. Let's see if Ousado will save Fluxo. He will! 2 kills on the hands of the newcomer, and Ousado will put down the whole Real squad, Isa!
Yes, very well played by Ousado, which we were talking about, and the grenades aren't as strong as they used to be, but Cia says that doesn't matter because he still took down 2 players with his grenade.
Easy already put down one of the players from Loud, and Vasco is trying to take over the Loud squad. Leno is trying to rotate. Kawan uses the grenade, the experience against the fiber of the newcomers. Right now, on the screen for you guys, Kronos, one of the most experienced players in LBFF. Chucky will try to go over. Kawan is the one facing him. And is showing up on the screen. He was the MVP of Serie B last season, and now he's trying to make his name in Serie A. We see Lost, the newcomer for this Loud squad. He came into the place of Noda, and now he is one of the great strengths of this Loud squad. We see Kawan trying to use the grenades. He found a lot of damage onto Hender, and now he's trying to find Leno. Only 33 damage taken by Leno. As Kawan tried to reposition, tried to use the ice to find information on the players of Vasco. He just saw Chucky, but Chucky used the house to protect himself. Now the rotation from Loud is going on. Kronos is playing all together with Will, while Loud splits their team between 2 duels, and this might be a good strategy for this Loud squad, is it?
Yes, and we are seeing how little damage the grenades are taking from the enemy when they're wearing good vests and a good set of abilities. They are countering very well the grenades, and I just like to say that Black Dragons Vasco is a very strong team, and now Laude in this confrontation with them, that is one of the most traditional teams in the Brazilian Free Fire League. I think this confrontation is very interesting. Even though it has cooled off, I think both teams will kind of spread, but I really hope to see a direct confrontation like 4 versus 4, which is the fair game that we all love to see.
But now we can have a 4 versus 4 between God Unidas and Team Liquid, both running side by side.
That's a curious rotation.
And none of them chose to go and attack the other squad.
Yeah, and just remembering that God was in their motorcycle. Like,
they were using the motorcycles. They were going Akira over there, while Team Liquid repositions and gets close to the fight between Loud and Vasco. Now we see Lost with the Max 7 trying to take down players. Easy will put down the Mac 10 is singing. Now true players, Jackie with the side. Vasco is destroying Loud. The newcomers just sent Loud home on a single second. Vasco da Gama showing up, coming to Serie A and showing that they're here to fight for the title. Now they have to deal with Team Liquid. Let's check out the rotation from Hender. He uses the eyes, tries to get some coverage to help himself run, but Leno will go down. Hender uses the medkit, and they will have to hold on to the rush of the players from Team Liquid. We see Boot over there. We see Pedro RS. We see MTS, the former MVP, the current MVP, going after the players from Vasco. Hender will go down. Pedro RS gets the takedown for the Team Liquid squad. Boot on will come over and put Leno to sleep. Now Easy will go down, and there's only Chucky to fight for Vasco. Let's see if Team Liquid will take him down, and oh my god, Boot! The Pitbull is alive! 3 kills for Boot! Give this man our finest gold! Boot on is coming over and taking down Vasco!
I literally have chills, Marcelo. I can't believe how good this confrontation was. This is like literally why we see LBFF and why we love this level of competitive scenario. And Vasco, what an amazing play on top of Laude, because they are a new team. They came as champions of the B series, and Easy, who is in my FF squad, was able to take down 2 players of Laude. So I'm very happy, even though they went down, unfortunately, because Team Liquid was right behind them.
Now the rotation from Fluxo puts them side by side with Netshoes Miners, and the fight goes on. Nativa using the grenade launcher, trying to find Cias by the eyes. Ousado is leading the rush. He's close to Natividade, and Japa BKR will put Broilo down with the AWM. More grenades coming in from Natividade. He is one of the best grenadiers in this league. While Jubinha comes from behind and before takes a lot of the players from before. Nando 9 will get the headshot and Natividade will be sent back to the lobby. Only 2 players to fight for Netshoes Miners. We see Rick over there. He's close to Fak. Fak tries to find the shots with the Max 7. But the Netshoes Miners will not survive. Cias puts him down and gets the quadra kill. He started the season as we wanted to see him. 4 kills for Cias. While we see Nitrox top 10 also, Nitrox also dealing with Team Liquid by there. Prozin using the snipers, using the VSS to put Romeo down. He tries to find some more shots and we see Mike from God Unidas, another team that came from Serie B, trying to find the shots. Trapo will put down one more player. Cruzeiro also shining and showing up some skill with its newcomers. Isa, this last few minutes will be amazing. We'll still have 7 teams alive.
Yes, 24 players alive in this safe zone, which is very small. And we have the key leaders being Fluxo. They are doing very well, which is all we hope to see. They have such a strong lineup.
And before dying to the safe, before dying to the gas.
Yes, they literally just died. Everyone died to the gas. But the safe zone is still shrinking, and we are going to see a lot of confrontations, a lot of gunfights right now, Marcelo.
And the first one is going on. We see Modestia trying to use the grenade launcher to take down the players from Cruzeiro. Trap used the chrono to save himself from the grenade, and now he's having to deal with not only Vivo Kid, but Fluxo. Ousado will put Nando 9 down, doing a great job as well, Ousado. Another the newcomer is shining for this Fluxo squad. We see Giga trying to find a good shot, but Modestia will put Trap down. He will have to rotate, he will have to help his teammates, and Fluxo will be allowed to get a better positioning. Let's see what R7 will do, because Cruzeiro is in a bad position. Trap will put Modestia down. Vivocade is back on the lobby in the 6th position. We have God Unidas fighting from the top down, and they have a good positioning. But Ousado will put Rush to sleep. There's only 3 players to fight for Cruzeiro. They will have to help Rush. But nice shot by Giga, putting Ousado down and giving them time to reposition, to reestablish themselves into this fight. But Giga will go down by a nice shot of Cias. Once again, Cias putting a player down and Ousado getting a kill. 8 kills for Ousado and Cias. This duo, oh my God, what will have this season? Fuck, we'll put R7 down with the Graza. Nice shot by Ousado, trying to take down the players from God Unidas. We see Miguel using the ice, trying to protect himself. Romeo is also targeting the players from God Unidas. Lots of shots coming in. Miguel just put another player down. It was Salis. He has a lot of damage, and he will not have the time to be helped by his teammates. He had the time. He indeed came back into the play. We see Marreta rotating. He's trying to close the gap. Mike will put Salis down, and Nitrox will go back to the lobby. Nice job by God. We see the players helping themselves. 17 minutes into the match, 7 players alive, Isa.
Make a bet, Marcelo. I doubt it. If you guess who
God
will get
Unidas.
the booyah.
God Unidas.
That's the safest bet.
God Unidas will get the booyah. Let's check this out. Miguel is wide open, trying to track Trap over there. And he will have the vision from Trap as soon as possible, and he will try to get Trap from behind. Nice job by the God Unidas squad, now forcing Japa BKR to fight by himself. He's all alone. God Unidas is coming over. The Serie B team will try to get their first booyah, and it's a booyah! God Unidas! All the way from Serie B, and they stand their ground and they're saying, we are elite, and we will have to deal with it. Deal with me. Deal with God Unidas, Isa.
Making their comeback from the B series, God Unidas was a very pretty booyah, and we have a lot of eliminations, but I am looking forward to see how the table charts are going to be, because I also saw Fluxo with at least 11 eliminations at the very end of the match, so we're going to have a lot of teams punctuating very well, and this was a beautiful match.
This was an incredible match to start the season. Everything we wanted to see was given to us, and we'll check the points, the confirmation of the points. Meanwhile, we have the highlights. It's on the screen for you guys to see. Cias was the MVP for the map, and Flux was the team with the most points.
Yes, but very close to Gajunidas with 19 points in second position. Cruzeiro with 13 points in the third position. Team Liquid, who, let's remember, was only alive at this point because they used their revival, with 11 points. Fifth place goes to Nitrox with 10 points. Sixth for Vivo Cage with 8. And let's see the rest of the chart in a minute. But now we are seeing the confrontation between Fluxo and Netshoes Miners. Fluxo was able to completely wipe not only Netshoes Miners, but all squads that they just came to run in the map. In Purgatory, they were able to literally take down all the enemies that were in their front.
And we gotta point out that we saw Vasco in the 8th position. However, the impact that the players had into this map, sending Loud to the second to last position into this map, trampling such an experienced team coming from Serie B. We're having the impactful plays from the Serie B squads, Lisa.
Yes, Black Dragons Vasco made an amazing play against Loud, and Easy took down 2 players with his mini Uzi. So that was really nice to see. And Team Liquid was also involved in this fight, and this was some kind of that situation that I talked to you about a little bit earlier in the match. All teams were very studied, very aware of each other, but in this season, since we have so many new teams with new rotations, that kind of thing is going to happen a lot more often. But maybe when we approach to the finals, as closer as we get to the finals, we are going to have less of that happening because the teams will grow more accustomed to each other. But while this is happening, I love it.
We all love it. We all want to see the exchanges, and we all need to see the standings on the screen for you guys to understand what happens in our league after the first map of LBFF Season 7. Fluxo leads 12 kills on their hands, Isa.
Yes, and let's just take a minute to see how balanced this chart is, because we have, at the same time, we have Fluxo, that is a veteran team. We have Gajunidas in the second place, and Gajunidas is a team that came from the B series. Okay, they were already in the A series a little while ago, but they came back. They came back, and we have Cruzeiro, that is a new team that is also coming back to the A series. Team Liquid, who is one of the, I'm not going to use the word favorites anymore because I think it's very hard to play favorites, but our table chart is very leveled between teams that are veterans in the LBFF and teams that just came into.
And we got to check this out because we still have 5 more maps today. We are heading to the desert of Kalahari. I'm getting sandy in my mouth, and I need to drink some water to hydrate to get better for us to bring the second map of the season for you guys, right, Isa?
Right.
So in a few minutes, we'll be right back to bring you guys the second map of the day. are back live to bring you guys the emotions of the second map of the day. We are heading to Kalahari, but we are also heading for the social media to bring you guys. I'm pretty stupid. I am really stupid. This happens a lot, and I am really stupid. I was talking to you, but I was not talking to you because my microphone was lifted. And of course, we're here to bring you guys the second map of the day. We're heading to Kalahari, and we're bringing you guys from the YouTube chat. And of course, we have Kevin MSD sending love from India to LBFF. Mr. Shark saying he can't understand Portuguese. But we're broadcasting in English.
I think that's kind of offensive, like, just a little bit.
But he at least got our language right?
Yeah,
He at least didn't say Spanish.
Right. Okay.
So it's all good. Thank you guys, and keep here with us throughout the whole season, and follow us on our social media. It's down here for you guys. We are at FF Esports BR. Everywhere you go, just like the Full House jingle would say, everywhere you look,
stop.
Everywhere you go. You don't know this song?
No, stop. Just stop. No one knows
You
it.
don't know this song?
No one knows it.
Everybody knows Full House.
Do you guys know?
Do you know the Olsen twins? Do you know the Olsen twins?
Sure. They
That was the first series they were in.
I'm not going to even say in the broadcast what they do, but okay.
Their sister is currently making Marvel movies.
Okay.
Elizabeth Olsen is there.
Okay.
But Mary-Kate and Ashley are another stuff. Follow us on our social media. And Isa, we're heading to a map that changes a lot the meta game for the teams. It's probably the most different map between the three maps in the rotation because it's wide open. Maybe this is the time for us to see how the supports will adapt to the changes in the weapons, right?
Right, and this meta game that we have right now doesn't really favor nor supports or grenade players or rush. So I really think that the MVP this season is not going to be that player who adapted the most to a very good meta, but is going to be a player that really is very skillful, that has a lot of resources, and who is the most complete player, because at the moment at least, because the meta really isn't favoring too much any position in the squad. And Kalahari, on the other hand, does favor a little bit the support players, which is why I am hoping to see some good support players like Nando Novi from Vivo Cage, Easy from Black Dragons Vasco.
'Cause he's easy.
Okay. And anyways, we are hoping to see a lot of good support gameplays in this match. And I love Kalahari, but you love it more than I do.
I love it more. It's the best map of the rotation.
Yeah, he says it's the best map, but
I play support. I play the sniper rifle role. So how can I not love Kalahari?
I highly doubted that.
I am a great sniper. I am a great sniper. You gotta deal with it.
Okay.
Give me an AWM and you'll see.
Well, then you can go to the Kalahari as well.
But we gotta say that we're clear to take off. Oh, we're clear to take off! I got the authorization from the control tower, so let's hit the skies! Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight R1D2 heading straight to Kalahari. This is your captain, Marcelo Ferrantini, and by my side, my co-pilot Isa invites you to loosen your seatbelts, fasten your boards, cause it's time to drop Isa!
And let's see if in this Kalahari we are going to have any drop call fights. What are you expecting, Marcelo? What are you expecting, everyone who's watching our broadcast? Because I have high expectations. And look at that, that's weird. Fluxo didn't go straight to their usual drop call. They went more towards the end of the map, which is something that they didn't usually do. But look at the drop call fights, Marcelo.
Chamber is being contested by Vasco and Netshoes Miners. Let's see if the newcomers will once again be impactful. Hender has the MP5 and he is the closest player to the Netshoes Miners players. He's trying to come over and take down at least the first one and force Netshoes Miners to run. We see Rick using the walls of the chamber to keep himself safe and trying to scout the players from Vasco. He uses the ice, rotates a little bit, and now he will go for a little bit of loot for him to try to engage into this fight with some advantage, Isa.
Yes, nothing but an SKS in Rick's hands. He doesn't have a vest. Well, I'm not gonna lie, he has a level 1 vest, but it's basically...
not a vest.
Yeah, it's basically the same as nothing.
He's wearing a t-shirt.
Yes, and we already have Easy with his Woodpecker, which is... No, not Woodpecker, he's with his AC-80, which is a very strong weapon right now. And I am hoping to see how both teams deal with this confrontation, because Netshoes Miners is a team that is older in the competitive scenario, while Black Dragons Vasco is just coming to contest their drop call. So in which way we should expect Netshoes Miners to know a little bit better that drop call chambers, but we can see anything happen.
We see Easy rotating. He is all alone because Chucky is trying to scout the players from Netshoes Miners from above, and Hender is sided by Leno while they rotate to try to take over. Vasco seems to want this fight to happen right now, is it?
Yes, and I really think that both teams should engage in the fight, because if they don't, both are going to end up very, very prejudiced in loot, and also they're going to have a very hard time making their rotations without running into each other again. So it is better for both teams that they run into each other at this point, but they are getting kind of split, so I'm kind of starting to doubt if it's going to happen.
And Vasco took chamber. They forced Netshoes Miners to the sides of the chambers while they try to gather some loot, and maybe they will try to flank Vasco. We see the rotation from one of the players from Netshoes Miners trying to open up a bit of the gap between him and his teammates. And I still need to check. It seems to be Rick indeed, the player that we are watching, trying to flank the players from Vasco, but they don't show out their faces. They're trying to safely gather some information, Isa.
Yes, and Marcel, let's remember that Netshoes Miners and Black Dragons Vasco didn't do very well in the last match. So right now, both of them don't seem very up to risk falling in a very bad position again. So they're being extra careful. But if this doesn't go anywhere, it's really going to make a mess, because the safe zone is already out there, and in 1 minute and 40 seconds it's going to start shrinking. And maybe we have the possibility of a third squad coming along.
Although chamber is really wide in the map, right? Maybe do you think it will be a possible route for any other team rotation?
I do think that all other teams kind of expected and knew that Black Dragons Vasco and Netshoes Miners would have this confrontation, because it is very hard to have any kind of confrontation drop call fight in the A series that you didn't practice. And if you practice your drop call strategies, all teams end up knowing that you're interested in that call. So when they see during the league, they see someone dying, someone being knocked down, they end up kind of predicting that that's going to happen. And we are in the A series, so everybody studies so much the other teams. So yes, I do expect that if they start, maybe not now, but in a couple of other matches, if they keep to this drop call fight, yes, someone will definitely come along.
It was tough. It was tough not to interrupt you with references during this commentary. You said because and stopped. You said practice and it triggers me with Allen Iverson. However, Vasco is trying to trigger Netshoes Miners with the Bao. It's easy going over, but Natividade puts Nano to sleep. Broilo will bring it down and puts Easy on the floor once again. 2 players down from Vasco, and the players will be forced to retreat and use the revive to bring back the 2 players. Hender and Chucky will not engage into this fight, although only 1 player took off.
Chucky.
There is still 1 player from Vasco da Gama there to fight. No, he's not. It was just the latency from the map that was still showing the players from Vasco up there, Isa.
No, Vasco's still alive.
They're still alive, but they're not There is no player in the chamber anymore.
Chucky is already very far gone, and if Black Dragons Vasco has any hope of doing a better match, they're going to have to use the revival resource, and I really hope they do, because then we'll see that match that is very full in a lot of confrontations during the course of the match. And also, we can tell that we haven't had so many drop call fights, because in Purgatory we haven't had none. And now we just had Black Dragons Vasco contesting Netshoes Miners. But we are going to see in a short while a lot of rotation confrontations and how the teams are marking and aiming at each other. And that's very interesting to see as well.
It seemed to me that it was kind of anxiety hitting for this Vasco team in this confrontation.
That too. Yes.
It seemed that they chose to go for the fight when they didn't need to go for it. They could have waited. They had the better positioning. They had the chamber positioning. They didn't need to go for it. But Hun also goes from it. From the refinery is before. The shots coming from the top down. And Nitrox now feeling the anger of Shinez, the former Nitrox player. Now fighting against Nitrox for this B4 squad, is it?
Yes, before who fell in refinery and they didn't leave that position still. That is very characteristic of their gameplay. So we are seeing, so far we haven't seen any big differences from what they did last season. And I think that's going to have to change, Marcelo, because if they keep the same game, the teams are going to start knowing them all too well, that it's not going to be good for them. But so far we have had a intermediary performance for Big Four, and we also have a lot of teams in that refinery region, which makes me believe that the safe zone is going to close towards that area. And also, we are seeing a lot of teams in the map that are valuing their position. And now, João, that I said, no, I didn't say that to you. I said to someone else. But João really, really, really looks like R7 from.
So you're gossiping with other people right now. I felt betrayed. Okay.
But doesn't he look a lot like R7 from Cruzeiro? Or do you not remember how R7 looks like?
I remember. He does look like, but his face is a little skinnier.
Yeah, and he looks a little bit younger because R7 has like that neck tattoo. But
yeah.
But they do look a lot alike. I think they're like long lost twin brothers.
I love the fact that he uses João as his handle. João is one of the most common names in Brazil. It's his name. It's not a nickname. It's his name.
Yes.
And he just plays as João. He was the first João to join Free Fire in the history.
I never felt the irony of that. That's true.
It's really ironic. He got the handle João. It's just amazing. It's impressive. It's one of the best names in LBFF.
That's true. Now I agree with you. Now that I thought about it, I really have never thought about it until now. But
and he played for before last season. And by his side, he had Juan, who is João in Spanish.
Yeah, but it was Juan with an R. But you know who is Juan with a J?
Who?
Godkill, his name is Juan.
Of course we're talking about names because we are here to make names and to make these guys famous. Over here we see Mike trying to gather some information. He knows of the players from Fluxo. He has the information on the players from Fluxo.
Yes, that it's a very standard position that Fluxo usually takes. And I'm really shocked that so many teams are choosing to make their rotations with like cars that we didn't used to see, like the motorcycle or like right now the Jeep.
I gotta say that a motorcycle is not a car that we're not used to see. It's a motorcycle that we're not used to see.
Whatever, it's a vehicle. I meant vehicle. Look, Chucky is reviving Easy.
He brought Easy back because he's easy.
Guys, you're going to see me say a lot of reviving, and I'm going to admit it. I am not fully sure that it's a word, but it is a word.
It's a word.
It's a word when it comes to Free Fire. At least it makes complete sense. Like
There's
when we say rushing and nerfing and a lot of verbs that aren't
There's
really in
an
the
item in
dictionary.
Pokemon that is called Revive. It exists.
Well, thank you, English teacher. And now we are seeing some very good
Oh, so
confrontation.
we're ironic right now. So we're sarcastic right here. And there is the fight between Vivocate and 00 Nation. Once again, the players rushing at each other. And we see General and that got going to the sides to avoid the flanking from 00 Nation. Is a good positioning by Vivocate right now, using the walls of the labyrinth to protect themselves.
Yes, and it seems that they're going to just take their Jeep and go away, which is exactly what they did. But the Jeep is a car that you can get a lot of bullets at, but that guy didn't quite make it. But anyway.
Just 2 shots. Pew, pew. And
Yeah,
that was it.
the Woodpecker right now didn't really pay off because it has a very slow rate of fire and he wasn't able to connect any shots. But look at before, fighting with Cruzeiro, I already saw one of the before players eliminating R7, who we were just talking about. And look at this position.
And before was the best team in Kalahari after Flux, they were the second to best team in Kalahari last season, but Iago was the player with the most kills in the map throughout the whole season in LBFF 6 in Kalahari, playing from the exact spot that he's playing right now. We're listening to sounds coming from the Brazilian broadcast. They are using the Muttley laughter.
No,
and you
I
probably
thought there
don't
was
know who is.
something on me. I really felt an agony right now.
You don't know who is Muttley, right?
No.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You don't know wacky races?
No.
Corrida maluca, as we say here in Portuguese.
No, does anyone know that?
Everybody knows wacky races.
Okay.
Have you never heard of Penélope Charmosa?
Oh, yeah.
She's from Wacky Races.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Dick Vigarista.
But I had a notebook with Penelope Charmosa.
Dick Vigarista.
I've heard of, but I can't quite place it in my head.
He's from Wacky Races. Muttley is the dog from Wacky Races.
That's a very old reference.
That's a classic.
Okay.
Would you say Beatles is old?
Yes.
Oh my God.
It is old.
I am dying.
Being classic doesn't mean it's not
Please bring me the casket. And now Cruzeiro is the first team to go down. What a rush by Nitrox. They were incredible. They took Cruzeiro down in a split second. Cruzeiro had no time to answer. And the positioning beneath the refinery is all Nitrox's, Isa.
Yes, but look at that. We still have 11 teams alive on the map. And we have before having to exit the refinery area because on the contrary of what I said before, it didn't close anywhere near that region. So we are having a lot of confrontations in the ends of the map right now, of the safe zone actually. And let's see if Loud is going to get the better of Fluxu or Vivocage because there's a lot of people in this area.
And we're reaching the final moments of the match. While we get to the 15-minute mark, the players are starting to find themselves, and now Nitrox is still dealing with before trying to leave the refinery. One more player down, and it was Prozin taking down one of his former teammates in the form of Lobato. And we see Ousado holding on Iago and avoiding to allow before to come into the center of the safe zone. Once again, before having trouble to leave the refinery, we've seen that happen in the last season. And it starts the season as well as it did last season. Problems for before when they have to leave the refinery. However, the fights are still going on. Vasco will finally go down. Chucky and Easy go down to the safe zone. And they will not fight. Bad match for Vasco after a good match to start the day. And now we see Vivocate trying to reposition. They will have to run, is it?
Around 4 teams in the foundation area, which is a lot to say because the safe zone didn't look like it was going towards that area. And now we are going to have a lot of confrontations. Vivocage and Laudu will have to confront each other.
We have Marina here on chat saying that Muttley is the most famous cartoon dog ever.
Okay,
He's
sorry,
one of
Marina.
one of the most famous because we have Scooby-Doo, we have Snoopy, we have Courage the Carly Dog.
Well, I know all of those, but you had to go with the one I didn't know.
Because that was the laughter from Muttley. The sound was the laughter from Muttley. And now we have Modestia putting down Pedro RS. Team Liquid is having to deal with Vivocade, as we see Phoenix and Bud trying to flank and get the good positioning. But CS puts down Salis, and Miguel will put down João. So Nitrox is back to the lobby in the 9th position. Now we see Vivocade trying to rotate. They have to deal with Loud. K1 will go down. Modestia gets the kill. And now they will have to deal with Kronos that is coming over to try to put them down. Kronos gets Modestia to the floor, and Fluxo is using their top-down advantage to deal with 0-0 Nation. Vivocade is down. Loud is also down. Two teams going down at the same time. Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me, but some team went to that region and got the kill on both teams, Isa.
Yes, and we see Fluxo in their standard position. This platform has got them a lot of booyahs in the last season, and right now it just might get them another one in this new season.
And now we see Fluxo going after the players from 0-0 Nation at the same ground level and taking down one player, but Eric will put Japa BKR to sleep. Will send him back to the lobby. CS comes over, takes down 1-9. Eric tries to save the team, and finally he will go down after taking down 2 players.
5 kills.
From Fluxo, but Fluxo's got 5 kills once again. The Quadra from CS, just 9 for him up until right now.
CS is coming very strongly for the most valuable player table chart again, and if anyone's not careful, if everyone's not careful actually, he's going to be the MVP of the day.
O CS vai te pegar. That's what the Brazilian crowds would say if we were playing on stadiums. And now we have Real trying to deal with the players from God Unidas. CS uses the grenade and put Marreta to sleep a little bit. 6 kills for CS!
Grenade launcher.
And now we have some grenade launcher shots coming from VM7. Ousado is trying to hold on to the players of Netshoes Miners, while Real also comes over to join the fight. JapXL puts a player down. CS will get Mike. 7 kills for CS into this matchup. Netshoes Miners will go down. Tatu doing a great job. And Real putting down once again the Netshoes Miners. Ousado is all by himself trying to fight, trying to use the ice and survive the advance from the players from God. God will go inside of the gas. Good positioning by Real. God will try to fight, try to survive, but they will not be able to. So it's a booyah! Real! Coming from 0 points on the first map. They held on to their positioning, and now they get the second booyah of the day. Nice job by God Unidas, but the booyah goes to Real, Isa.
Real having a booyah with a very strong position. Even though they didn't make a lot of eliminations, they had a very strong position and they managed to get the booyah, which is going to be very interesting to see in the table charts because they didn't do very well in the last match. But on the other hand, God did very well in the other match because they got the first booyah and now they got the second place. So God coming very strongly.
And Fluxo also getting to the 3rd positioning. They were the runner-ups on the last map. Once again, 7 eliminations on the hands of CS. So we got to check the confirmation of the points and the highlights to see if Fluxo once again got good points because of the kills. If God Unidas went to and took the lead from them, it's all possible right now, isn't it?
Well, what do you think? Do you think Fluxo or God Unidas in the first place? You who are the mathematic king that I'm not.
They had 3 points ahead of God Unidas on the first map. CS got 7 kills. We probably got 1 or 2 more kills from them. So Fluxo will be ahead.
Well, you just saw that spoiler because right now we are seeing the punctuation of all teams. First of all, Fluxo with 17 points and CS with 7 kills. 2 MVPs of the match in a row. He is coming very strongly and I'm so sad that I didn't put him in my FF squad because he was too expensive.
I was going to say it. I got him on my FF.
Really? Well, I'm cheap, so I didn't put him in.
I got him on my FF squad. 2 MVPs and 12 kills in 2 maps.
I'm so cheap.
I had to go for him. CS ruling the world right now. Fluxo 17 points, Hell 16, 14 for God Unidas, 10 for Netshoes, minus 9 for Vivocade, 8 for Loud. These were the top 6 teams into this matchup. And we're starting to check the pattern in the matchup between Groups A and B. God Unidas playing carefully and taking names. Fluxo reaching the end game, trying to take some points, but before having trouble in what could have been their best map throughout the whole season last season. Team Liquid not having a good game right now. Vasco not having a good game right now. Cruzeiro, who had also a good game in the first matchup, in the last position. This shows some balance.
Yes, this shows some balance. And as we were talking before, this is what people are calling the most competitive season in the Free Fire, in the Brazilian Free Fire League, which means that all teams are so qualified and have such strong lineups that it is very difficult to say who's always going to be good, who's going to be that really favorite kind of player or team. And that is very hard to point out this season, especially because we have such strong teams, like I said before. And I really think that we are going to see a lot of games that we aren't seeing today because this is the first day after all. It is a good way to start out seeing how the performance of the teams are going to go, but it isn't definitive.
And I bet that a lot of guys on the chat will like what we will see right now because we got to check the standings and see who is leading our tables. Here to start the day, only 2 maps in. We still have 4 maps to go. But the standings are coming on the screen for you guys to check. Fluxo leading the charge with 38 points, is it?
Yes, 38 points is a very good punctuation for just 2 matches. And we'll see that if they did 38 points in just 2 matches, in the end of the day, they can have over 100 points, right? And is my math right this time?
The average for the matches are 19 points. 19 times 5 is 95. If you add 19 more, that is the 6th map, you go for 114 points. That's if they keep the average, that's the points.
And that's Marcelo Ferrantini, Free Fire narrator, English teacher, and also mathematics professor.
I studied engineering.
Claps, claps, claps.
I studied engineering. I had to do this quickly. So, of course, we will bring you guys all the 4 maps that we are still ahead that are still ahead of us, and we'll be right back after a quick hydration session to bring you guys Bermuda as soon as possible. Bermuda is coming up, and we'll be right back. We are back live. This time the microphone is on the right position, and we'll bring you guys the third map of the day, Bermuda, the oldest map in the rotation, the map that the players are most familiar with, and this also changes from what we were having in Kalahari, because it's the newest map, it's the most different map, and now we get to the most traditional map in the rotation. This can change, this can bring the old guys back to the top, right, Isa?
Yes, we were talking about that, you guys, because, you know, Bermuda being the most classic map in the Free Fire competitive scenario, it usually favors teams that are more accustomed to playing on it, which means veteran teams that always played in Bermuda. Because, for instance, if you have a team that started playing the third LBFF, they didn't play any Kalahari until no one played any Kalahari until the third one. Did you follow my thought process?
I understood what you were saying.
Because I'm kind of a bad person to explain something.
I got you. No teams played Kalahari up until LBFF 3. If a player is from the past, from LBFF 1 or 2, he was not used to play Kalahari, and the newcomers could take advantage on that, or at least not the newcomers, but the least experienced guys would take advantage on that.
So you got what I meant.
I understood.
It made sense.
It made sense. It made sense.
So now we were going to...
It was just the words that you chose that got you tangled.
Anyway, Bermuda is my particularly favorite map. I love it. And I am really looking forward to see if there's going to be any drop call fights, which is something that I also love. And I would like to know if you guys at home watching us also like to see these drop call fights, but I'll follow up to that.
We're clear to take off, so let's hit the skies! Ladies and gentlemen, from flight R1D3 heading straight to Bermuda. This is your captain, Marcelo Fiorentini, and by my side, my co-pilot, Isa, invites you to loosen your seatbelts, fasten your boards, because it's time to drop, Isa!
And getting to Bermuda, the best map of Free Fire.
No.
And
it's a good one.
I had a spoiler, and I think that Fluxo is going to fall alongside with Cruzeiro in peak their usual preferred drop call.
They're near indeed. This could... Mother Gina! She got the infos!
I got a spoiler.
She got the infos. Cruzeiro and Fluxo side by side. This could become a really early fight between those two teams. Ousado trying to gather some loot. He gets the AK-47 on the ground. He also gets some good equipment. He gets the scythe, a med kit over there. He might be the one leading the charge against this Cruzeiro squad, is it?
Yes, and we have Ousado being the only player that is so dangerously close to the rest of the Cruzeiro squad. But I think that Cruzeiro is really gonna work on their flanks. But Vivo Cage seems to have foreseen this confrontation, because they are already going up the hill of Peaky, and they might just turn it into a three-way fight.
It might become indeed a three-way fight, and we gotta say, Ousado with the new glasses, he's just perfectly alike with one of our coordinators, Vini. He just looks like Vini's son.
I never saw Vini's son, so I can say so, but...
Vini!
Where did I say his son?
He looks like Vini's son.
I feel like his son, like his kid.
Yeah, he looks like Vini, but in a kid version.
Oh, but why did you say just like Vini in a kid version? So you said like Vini's son, and I thought he was actually his son, like...
No, he just looks like Vini, but younger.
Okay, now I got that. And we have Real making their standard drop call in Cape Town, which isn't normally a very strong loot area, but now it's not only the blue zone, it is also a heart zone. So players can make their revival there if they have lost one player. They have that heart zone that is very, very strong in the meta right now. So it might be turning into a very good call.
And the fight will happen. Ousado is trying to flank the players from Cruzeiro. CS coming from the front of the house, now going after the players. They are using the ice to protect themselves. Ousado will drop to the floor. One more player from Cruzeiro trying to survive. It's R7. He uses the ice. Ousado is going after him with the Max 7. He will put Giga to the floor. Japa BKR comes over, takes R7. There's only rush, and Cruzeiro will go down. Fluxo with the rush, going over, trampling Cruzeiro, taking pick to themselves, and now they are dangerously well positioned, Isa, because they've got 4 kills. They don't need to run over to try to take more points, and they have probably the best positioning in this Bermuda map.
Yes, Marcelo, and this is a very tough moment for Cruzeiro that fell in the last position. And Fluxo went so well in this rush that they didn't even lose any players, which even if they did, they would be able to save them. But they didn't even lose anyone to the confrontation, which is something of a sign of how Cruzeiro will react to Fluxo, because Fluxo hasn't lost any direct confrontations until this point in the 7th season of the LBFF. And look at them in the kill leader outdoor. Well, very, very screaming, very buoy-alike of them.
Very Nobru-like. And of course, you guys need to understand that this Jogo Pausado that you're seeing right now will be a new part of our broadcast. We'll bring some interviews and some challenges with the players and the casters from the Portuguese broadcast.
I would totally kill in that game.
I would flunk so badly in
I would
that game.
do so well. I'm good at like when something. If it's not a math question, if someone asks me something that I know and it's like answer quickly, I do it quickly.
I am an undercover dumb guy. I look smart. I talk like I'm smart, but I'm just dumb. And now the grenades are coming in. Prozin trying to use the grenades. One player went down on the ground by the usage of grenades. General just took one player down from Nitrox, and now they want to retreat. They want to take down one of the players from Vivocate so they can retreat. They use the car to go over and to leave one of the players behind because they know that they can revive Romeu.
Yes, and Vivocate is a team that usually kind of runs that place that region, that area that is in between Peak and Pushinoki. But Nitrox top 10, not Nitrox top 10 anymore. Nitrox seems to be having a hard time escaping them. João is behind the tower, just waiting to see what happens. Might be hard for them.
And Vivocate holds the record for the most points in a single drop in the history of LBFF in Bermuda, playing exactly from that spot. They are a dangerous team. They did it in LBFF Season 5, the season that they won.
Yes, Vivocate is a very strong team, and it hasn't changed much. The only thing that changed in the Vivocate team is that Cabeção went back to the squad, to the lineup, but he's not playing today. So after all, it is kind of the same. But them being very experienced players, Modestia and Dead God play since the very first LBFF. General doesn't, and also
Nando
9 doesn't, but Dead God and Modestia are very experienced. General also plays for a long time. Just Nando that is the newest player of that team, but he's very good. We saw his debut in Season 5, and he was already so good.
He was the champion.
Yeah, he was the champion. It's not for everybody to get up and be a champion. I think Nando 9 and Fluxo.
Nando 9 and Fluxo, and Nando 9 was not only the champion, but he was one of the runner-ups in the fight for the MVP.
Right, that's
he
right.
He was really impactful for this Vivocate squad. And Cabeção, who also won that championship with Vivocate, came back to the lineup.
He's now back,
in
right.
the place of Rei, that played for Vivocate last season. Now we see Japa BKR trying to gather information. He saw players from Team Liquid leaving that region. He tried some shots. Pedro is down, probably on the hands of Fluxo. And Team Liquid once again having some trouble to deal with early game confrontations.
Yes, but right now, rather than in the purgatory match in which they were able to revive easily their teammate, right now they don't have any stores or heart zones near them. So probably the player who's been eliminated is going to stay that way until a little while. But we have Godji leaving Sentosa just now. We are already at 8 minutes in the match. And they are really seeming to be taking very seriously their performance. They don't want to risk their game right now, and they want to prove that they came from the B series, from the Access group, and they're going to do very well.
And now we see the rotation from Netshoes Miners down to the observatory spot. They're going for the
Launcher.
and of course the better positioning inside of the safe zone. But they can get to plantation and the fight can go on with Loud.
Yes, they fell dangerously close to Loud, and I think that Lost is going to be able to spot them.
Let's check out what will happen. Lost is the first player indeed in this matchup, but we got to check out as well as the region of Peak. We were watching there. Lots and lots of teams gathering around the
Very
Peak.
crowded.
It's very crowded, and this could be the end of the map.
And the only team that is out of the safe zone is Godji. Still out of the safe zone. I'm really eager to see how they are going to make that rotation, because all teams are already into the safe zone. And I think they must have a couple of vehicles or something. Otherwise, it's going to be very hard to get into the safe zone.
It will be troublesome indeed for Godinez, but it's now trouble for Netshoes Miners. Kronos tries to find the shots. He's got a good positioning, and now he will have to take off because Rick chose to go over and try to take him down. But Kawan was there using the bait from Kronos to take down one of the players, and now the grenades are coming in. Hick is on the floor. He will be blown out by the grenade. He goes down, and Peusada now tries to come and rush Kawan. He uses one more piece of ice to protect himself, but Peusada will put Kronos to sleep. Peusada, the experienced player that is now defending Netshoes Miners since last season. Netshoes Miners that kept the same lineup as last season, trying to use the knowledge of the players to take down the veterans from Loud as well. Will using the eyes, trying to get closer to the players of Netshoes Miners. Will, one of the best rushers in the league, now trying to get closer to use his best ability on this fight. Peusada is the first one to reach it. Oh my God, Peusada! One shot, 2 takedowns for Peusada. He puts 2 players down from Loud. Now there's only Kawan to fight for this Loud squad against Broilu and Nativa. He will put Natividade down with a nice capa, a nice headshot, trying to save Loud Kawan. He rotates, he uses the ice. Peusada is over there. He will finish off Will. Broilu is the last player remaining for this Netshoes Miners squad, and he will take Loud down. Kronos was the first one to be taken down. Kawan tried to save the whole squad, got an amazing kappa, but was not able to hold on to the advance of Broilu, Isa.
Broilu alone was able to take down Kawan, but I just might say that I'm a little bit disappointed with the performance of Loud, because they got a new player that is Lost, and Lost is a player who's known for being very aggressive. He plays in the position of the rush. And it is weird that Loudji isn't making that aggressive game that we were expecting, because they have Will, like you said, one of the best rushers in the LBFF. They have Losty, that is one of the best rushers, and you know what? Losty is also the player that most eliminated in finals of the LBFF combined.
And they got Kawan, one of the best
And they got
grenadiers in the
Kawan,
history of LBFF.
who is like, yes, if I'm not wrong, he's the second MVP in the history of LBFF, and he's an
Behind Java
incredible,
BKR.
yes, and he's an incredible player, an incredible captain, and I happen to know that he is also very aggressive in his gameplay. So I think that Loudji isn't being very faithful to their gameplay, and that might be why they aren't doing so well today. But we still have 3 matches.
We still have 3 matches, but Garunida is trying to use the Jeep to rotate through the center of the safe zone, praying 1,000 will fall by my left side. 10,000 will fall by my right side, but I will not fall. I will go through the valley of the dead, and I will come out clean. And that's what they did. They went through with the car and took almost no damage. It seems that the teams didn't want to show themselves to the other squads that are near the zone.
Yes, that might be a smart move, but going in another direction, I would just like to point out that everyone who's watching our broadcast, you can also pay attention to how much the revival resource is being used and is being important in this season. We have Romeo that was revived right now. In the last match, in Purgatory, we had what was his name?
The whole Vasco squad was
the whole
revived.
Vasco squad. No, not the
Team
whole Vasco.
Liquid was revived.
And Fluxo was the one I was trying to remember. Fluxo had lost a couple of players, and they were revived, and that ended up making a huge difference for them. And the revival resource is really the meta game right now. It really represents what this LBFF is going to be about. So you guys can pay attention by the little blue heart by the side of the names of the players.
Do you see blue?
Isn't it blue?
I see green.
Oh my god. Do you guys see blue or green in the hearts? Because
Please tell us, because I just got worried right
I'm
now.
genuinely confused right now.
I just got worried right now, but now we see Ousado. He's got 3 kills in this matchup, and he's trying his 4th. Nando9 was the one running. He will face off against the whole Vivocade squad, and Nando9 will go down by the hands of Japa BKR. Japa performing as the support for this Fluxo squad, and he
Support
is...
versus support.
It was a support versus support, and now we see Salles taking down the players from Real Prozin, putting VM7 to sleep. Vasco is also joining this fight. The trucks will go down, and the grenades are coming in. Real has only 2 players to fight. Vasco has a better positioning. They are inside of the safe zone, and they are forcing the players from Real to take damage from the safe zone, and Fluxo just disappeared. Fluxo and Vivocade just vanished from inside of the safe zone. They were blown away by the gas, and we lost 2 teams that were running to try to leave the gas, Isa.
Yes, Fluxo was just flushed out of the safe zone by their enemies who were already making a barrier at the ends of the safe zone. But we have Black Dragons Vasco in an amazing position. Black Dragons Vasco just might make the match that they didn't do so far. And if they are able to make that booyah, which I see as very possible, they are going to get out of that very sad zone of the table chart.
Uncomfortable position
Yeah.
that they are right now, as we see Easy trying to get some shots with the Groza onto Marreta. He uses the shots to break the ice. Marreta is forced to hide behind the house. They didn't get the higher ground positioning, but they are covered. They are inside a building, and they are inside of the safe zone. They are well positioned right now.
Look at how many squads we have in Bimazaki. It's going to be very hard for them to get out of there. And if they come up the hill, they have 0-0 Nation and Godj making a barrier for them. So I'm going to make a bet right now, and I'm going to say Black Dragons Vasco is going to get this booyah.
Let's check out what will happen, because Lobato is using the grenades. He now tries to rush, tries to run over using the ballerina skin over there. Now trying to get some shots. Team Liquid will go down onto the hands of Vasco. And also, we see Netshoes Miners in problems. Natividade, one of the only players remaining for this Netshoes Miners squad. Broilo will go down. Lobato gets the kill. Nice rush by before, coming from behind and taking the Netshoes Miners squad. A nice usage of the grenade launcher by Lobato, and some grenades also coming in. We see Miguel putting down Iago finally with the KAR. And Marreta will come down with the grenade launcher shot! He finds Shiznei and sends before back to the lobby. While we expected before to eliminate Netshoes Miners, they were the ones to fall to the ground first. Onto the hands of Godonidas once again on the top 3. Godonidas once again on the top 3. A complete domination by the team that will become the leader on the rankings after this matchup. Let's see how this matchup will end. We see Marreta using the grenades, opening some space for Rigby to rush. Miguel uses the KAR. 0-0 Nation is down. It's between the two teams that came from Serie B. It's Vasco against God Unidas. Miguel puts Render to sleep. Now there is only one player to fight for Vasco. Leno will go down and Vasco goes to sleep. So it's a double. Booyah, God Unidas!
Double booyah, I'm sorry, I interrupted you, but double booyah for God Unidas. And they are a team that is going very well today, surprising everyone. They came straight from the Access group. And Marreta, their captain, I just want to take some time to really talk about how good he's been, because it is not easy to come from the Access group, the B series. And
Easy place for Vasco.
it is that easy for them, for God, to get here in the A series and just make 2 booyahs in the very first day. That is something that we don't see very often. And Marreta, the captain, is one of the responsibles for this good performance.
3 maps, 2 booyahs in a second position.
Oh my God, yes. If this was the finals, Gaji would be the very favorite for the title.
What an amazing run for God Unidas to start the season. 20 points for them. Now a clear leader in the run for the top spot in the standings. Netshoes Miners finally with a good match. And also Vasco with a good matchup with 11 points.
Yes, and as we talked a little bit about Lauji during the match, they aren't really fitting in their game, but we have also before 0-0 Nation. 0-0 Nation actually did good in this match, but they are struggling a little bit to fit in their game. And we have before, who is a team that is constantly, that at least last season, they were constantly doing good with just 11 points. Just no, but like 11 points is a good punctuation, but considering that they didn't have basically any points in the last match, it isn't so good. And Vivo Cage not doing very well as well.
And we have the rankings going on. Fluxo got 8 points, which is a good punctuation in a match, but they will not hold on to their lead right now. We will check the standings, and God Unidas, coming from Serie B, coming from the Access group, not the champion of Serie B, who was Vasco, but the team that came from the Access group with an incredible run to start the day. We saw the teams of the day, and we will check out the standings. 53 points in 3 maps.
Yes, that is an amazing punctuation, and it just shows how much Goji is taking it seriously, and they are here to prove that they're competitors and they are candidates for the trophy. We also have Fluxo in the 2nd position, Netshoes Miners in the 3rd, Hell in the 4th, Vivo Cage doing not very well.
But check out who is the worst team of the day up until right now.
Up to right now, Lauji, which is a veteran team, is in the LBFF since the very first season, is in the last position.
The worst team of the day up until right now, Loud still didn't find the way that they should play with this new lineup, right?
Yeah, but I think it's very much what I talked to you about. They are going to be able to fit in their game better when they're able to fit in their rush, because they are very, very, very skillful players, but all of them who have an aggressive character that they aren't being able to get out of.
So let's take a minute, let's take a rest here, because we still have 3 more maps, and I want to see, will God Unidas keep that domination that they showed us in the first 3 maps? We gotta check out after a quick break, and we'll be right back. We are back live, and of course, we still have 3 more maps to come. Purgatory, Kalahari, and Bermuda once again. But what a domination by God Unidas right now, Isa.
Yes, we have talked a lot about Goji and how good and surprising this performance is. But I also would like to say that I'm very interested on the MVP of the day because Cias was dominating so much that we were shocked to see how many kills he was getting. And I would like to say as well that this is the point in the day in which all teams must really analyze their mistakes, see where they're going wrong and what they are some different postures, if so to speak, that they can do to do better.
And of course, they have some time in between those 3 maps. We give them 10 minutes,
a little break
to study a little bit and to understand what they did right and what they did wrong. And of course, we'll bring you guys the 3 more maps and the changes that those teams brought. And of course, we'll bring you guys for the broadcast as well. We have Mr. Shark here. We have Maria Branco saying Fluxo. We have Davi SFF saying Salve Brasil. Salve, Davi.
Salve, Davi.
We have Dishun Gaming asking why is Fluxo not playing Nobru? They are strategizing well with those 4 players, right?
Yes, they're doing very well right now. And I think that if Nobru is ever needed, he's going to get into the squad. But so far,
we have Lucas Lima here. We have Lobo86 also here. And of course, send us the message. Send us messages on our social media. I am at Marcelo Ferrantini. Isa is at Isa13X. And follow us on our social media. And of course, follow all the social media from Free Fire Esports at FF Esports BR in every social media possible. And we are getting ready for the 4th map of the day. And I have an interesting statistic here, is that we might have the first player reaching 400 drops in the history of LBFF. It's Mr. LBFF Japa BKR. He currently has 398. If he plays this Purgatory map and Kalahari, Kalahari will be the 400th map in the career of the legendary Japa BKR.
he really is the Mr. LBFF, like we call him in Brazil. And Japa BKR is a player that is coming to his 6th split in the LBFF. And he is a player who's also running for his 3rd championship, so his 3rd title, and possibly going to the World Series, because that is something that we haven't talked too much about in this broadcast. But this LBFF isn't only about our beautiful trophy and the title of best team in Brazil. It is also about not 1 but 2 spots in the Free Fire World Series in Sentosa.
Sentosa will be indeed the favorite drop call for every player in the history of Free Fire, because the World Series will go to Sentosa in the Indonesian islands. So this will be the favorite drop call, and we got to check out the standings for you guys to understand in what rounds we stand right now. For the last 3 maps of the day, we have God Unidas leading with 53 points, but not far behind Fluxo with 46. Cias all by himself can take this difference away. 7 kills for him, he takes it.
Yeah.
And now we have Netshoes Miners on the 3rd position, taking it from Vivo Kate. That was not good in Bermuda. We have Real also taking the 4th position from Vivo Kate. Team Liquid stays in the 6th position. Nitrox with the 7th, B4 with the 8th position. Bad start for the current champions. Vasco, that came from Serie B, had a good first map, but not good results in in Kalahari. Good result in Bermuda, but not that good enough.
Yeah.
0-0 Nation also 17 points. Cruzeiro with 13 and Loud with only 4 kills and only 10 points.
Yes, and I think I can speak for everyone that we are hoping to see in this last rotation of maps. The performance of the teams being very enhanced, especially of the teams that are on the bottom of the standings, because it is, after all, what we like to see. Everybody doing good and raising that competitive level.
Fighting. Lots of triggers coming from you, and you don't know the older songs. I am 14 years older than you. That's a point. We We got to take it. I'm 14 years older than you, and I've got the older references. Bring me the new ones. Bring me the new ones.
I refuse myself to do that. No, actually, I don't know how do you get so many references in your head? Is your head just like a ballad?
I am dumb. That's the point. If you ask me, what is the capital of, I don't know, Iceland, I would not be able to say.
I know the capital of Iceland.
It's Reykjavik.
Yeah.
I know.
I didn't know how to pronounce it, but since you did.
It's Reykjavik. I'm good with geography as well, but the geography that I am interested right now is the geography of the region of Purgatory. We had some challenges going on in the first map of the day. Will those drop call challenges happen once again?
Well, in Purgatory, I really don't think there's going to be a lot of drop call fights. But as far as it goes from the rotation of the teams, we must see a lot more exchanges of fire because all teams there's new teams introduced in the game, and like I said before, it is easy to one team run into another. But we also have something in Purgatory that I am hoping to see, which is the good performance of Loud. Loud that had their best map being Purgatory basically all seasons. And right now, we are going to see if they're going to change their performance.
And in Season 6, it was common for us to see Loud taking the first Booyah of the day every time in Purgatory. They started the day strong, they started the map strong. And it worked well for Loud last season. They went for the finals. They had a good run in the finals. And we're not seeing that from them today.
Yes, we would like to see so much Last 21.
You may say Last 21.
Wheel, maybe Noda, maybe Kronos. But we would like to see them making an aggressive gameplay and really being truthful to that origin, because in Brazil we have an expression that is the Ruxadão of Loud.
The Ruxadão of Loud. We're missing the Ruxadão of Loud, and we expected the Ruxadão of Loud to come with Lost into this matchup with Wheel. They are an aggressive team, an aggressive squad. Player by player, they are indeed aggressive. They have one of the best supports in the game. They have one of the best grenadiers in the game. The player that was the first one to reach 400 kills in the history of LBFF, which was Kawan, the grenadier. Two great rushers, and we're not seeing that from them.
Yes, but let's remind ourselves, take a moment, breathe, and think this is the first day, so even though it is nice to see how teams are doing, well, I'll follow up to that.
Because we're clear to take off, so let's hit the skies! No?
No?
The engine was not working. Let me check that. Oh, it's working. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight R1D4 heading straight to Purgatory. This is your captain, myself, Eugene, and by my side, my co-pilot, Isa, invites you to loosen your seatbelts, fasten your boards, because it's time to drop, Isa!
Time to drop. We aren't seeing any drop call fights at this point because most teams haven't even gotten off the plane, but we have Black Dragons Vasco in their standard call of Moat House. They stood by that call all throughout the big series, and it is a region that they know very well, so I am looking forward to seeing their performance in this match. Loud at Crossroads, they're also their standard call. And we see in Brasilia, we have Cruzeiro before 00 Nation, but no, 00 Nation is kind of on fields, but Dudu is making his loot in that quarry area of Brasilia, in the hill. And we have Vivo Cage having to really use their legs, make a quick cardio break, and run towards Forge.
Now we see the sensations of the season. Now getting some loot on Marble Works. Garonidas, which have Marreta as their leader, as their captain. He, a dude that used to sell candy on trains up until 2 years ago. What did Free Fire do to this man's life?
Yes, it is a very touching story indeed, and It is so nice to see how Free Fire changes the lives of these guys who are playing, and Marreta is doing such an amazing job in calls. He is that player that calls out the entire team and makes the decisions, and alongside with the technical staff, they make all the decisions for Goji, and I must say they're doing a very good job. Congratulations, Goji. Really a performance that was surprising to everyone, not because we didn't know that Goji had a very strong lineup, but because coming from the B series is usually a big hit, but they are taking it so very well. And now Cruzeiro in Brasilia, Marcelo.
Cruzeiro in Brasília, which is kind of incorrect because Cruzeiro is from Minas Gerais.
I didn't know that.
Cruzeiro is a Minas Gerais team. One of the greatest teams in traditional sports in the history of Brazil. Cruzeiro, the rival of América, of Atlético América and Atlético Mineiro. Great teams from Minas Gerais here in Brazil. Regards to Abhijit Sundar. Here with us, Tucano, AWP. José Augusto Videira Filho here, saying that the duo is sensational. Thank you. Coronel 77 is over here. Samuel Pereira also here. Everyone on the chat, thank you guys for being here with us. And now we see Real rotating, trying to get to a better positioning by the Fire Brigade. We know that they will have to rotate by the satellite islands, the islands that surround the Isle of Purgatory, and they chose to do it by the further position of the map.
Yes, and I'm curious as to where is the safe zone, because this was a very peculiar decision for Hal. I didn't think they would do this kind of rotation, but it is also very good if you're trying to hold position and wait for the safe zone to pass out to see where it closes next. So it is very interesting what they're doing. They got already one Booyah in the LBFF this season. And now we see the entrance of Antunes. He wasn't playing in the last match, right?
Antunes coming in to play for this Real squad.
Antunes, who is the champion of LBFF 3.
Champion of LBFF 3. Indeed, Hal got Antunes in this offseason to reinforce their squad. Hal, a team that fought against relegation last season and started this Serie A in 2022, this seventh season, with a Booyah in the first day in Kalahari, a map that historically they perform well.
Yeah, 0-0 Nation in the Watchtower, just waiting around, seeing if any teams are going to come close and maybe pick a few kills. But at this point, 0-0 Nation is not in a good spot in the standings, and they got to change their game. Like we said, this is the fourth match, which means that we have had the first half of the day, and in the second half, it is always very important for teams to really analyze their performance and change whatever they need to change, maybe test another strategy. And I'm hoping to see a lot of that, so we can see different performances from the first half of the day.
We will check out indeed, and I want to check out how will God Unidas avoid being marked by their opponents.
Well, that is up for Marreta to decide, and I already saw that he saw a projection of the safe zone, so Marreta is coming very strongly for the safe zone. Watch out, everyone, because he is on fire today.
Kudos to FL4 Toxic, saying love from Trinidad. Trinidad and Tobago, the land of Dwight York, the great Dwight York, one of the greatest players to step in a football field.
Very nice curiosity.
that was old. That was an old reference. Dwight York was one of the greatest players of the 90s and early 2000s. He was a soccer player, a football player, not soccer, football.
Well, we see Cruzeiro in that position of the watchtower in between Fields and Brasilia. That is a very strong position, but it is also very dangerous because it is easy for squads to come along that way. But I'm more interested in the safe zone because right now we have a lot of Comrie in the map, and we are not used to that, especially in the first day.
And now we have the rotation from this Vivocade squad. They are close to the revival zone, the blue heart zone. And this could be an advantage. This could become a new strategy for teams dropping near the blue zones so they can rush, try to get some kills, come back and revive their players, Isa.
Yes, very well pointed, Marcelo. Now we have Real approaching Netshoes Miners, and Netshoes Miners make their standard drop call in number mill. So maybe I already imagined that they were there and were really wanting to get to this fight, but maybe they didn't. And now both teams are very much on the border of the safe zone and will need to confront each other to get out of that place.
Let's see, because Netshoes Miners is indeed trying to hold Real away from the entrance of the safe zone. They are holding the door. They are hold door against.
I left because I'm polite, okay? But
You don't watch Game of Thrones.
no.
This is a new reference. This is.
Okay, but I don't watch Game of Thrones.
Oh my God. I'm not hitting one. And we see VM7 trying to use the grenades. Real rushing against the players from Netshoes Miners, but look at the grenade from Natividade. He puts the first player down. tThe brings it back. Antunes puts himself, he puts Peusada down, and Troilo will bring it back. Now he takes Antunes away. There's only tThe to fight for Real. VM7 went down. Japa tried to save his teammate and also went down. Now Netshoes Miners have the advantage. They are in a 3 versus 1 fight only against tThe. By
I
the
really
house.
hope tThe gets that advantage because I like to play for the underdog.
It's just because tThe uses the 13 on his name.
Maybe.
Now we see that God using the Mag 7 trying to go over the players from Fluxo. Grenades coming in, the ice is broken. Fucking Ousado are isolated from their teammates and Ousado was left behind. Modestia gets the kill. The takedown and the kill against Ousado. Now Fluxo has 3 players to fight against Vivocade. Vivocade has the positioning advantage, and now they are trying to surround the players from Fluxo to avoid them from running. They know that it's a possibility since they can revive the players that they lost. We see Fak over there trying to hold the players from Vivocade. And some grenades coming in from his teammates. Fak will be put down. General with the Balbal doing a good job. That God will put Cias to sleep, and Fluxo will go back to the lobby. No points for the runners-up in the standings. And Vivocade takes 4 kills with the greatest of ease.
Yes, and Vivocade really showing that however strong the Fluxo team might be, they are also very strong. They are also one of the most traditional teams in the Free Fire Brazilian League, and we have to really recognize, because this was the first confrontation, direct confrontation, that Fluxo lost in our day. All of the others, they were able to win.
They were able to win indeed, but the positioning from Vivocade was really favorable in this
Yeah,
match.
but that's always the case for some team. Some team always has the best position, and that doesn't mean that they will necessarily win the confrontation, because these players study a lot the rush and how to invert those situations. So if Vivocade was able to win the confrontation, it's because they really had the best rush. And I would just like to point out that Modestia is playing still with submachine guns, which were very, very nerfed. Severely nerfed in the couple of last updates of the game. The submachine guns are giving a lot less damage unless you have a really, really, really good skill to be able to get basically only headshots. Then if you get basically only headshots, you will be able to give a good damage with them. But otherwise, their damage is very, very nerfed. And it is cool to see Modestia still playing with submachine guns, because he is probably one of the only players in this season that still prioritize them over the
The shotguns.
Isso. Oh, yes.
I love the isso. But shout out to Ayush Pandey here, shouting out for Vivocate. Dishum Gaming asking us which is our favorite teams. My favorite team is LBFF.
My favorite team is Garena.
Your favorite team is?
Garena.
Garena. I love Free Fire, Garena, LBFF. Those are my teams.
Thanks, boss.
Thanks, boss. We're glad to be here. Now we see some teams gathering around the lower part of Brasilia. We see Garunidas over there. Vasco, Team Liquid was getting closer as well. Team Liquid working with the late rotations.
Yes, they always did work with late rotations. We saw that past the last couple of splits. And I don't mean actually Team Liquid is because the lineup that is playing for Team Liquid usually used to play for SS. So I'm talking about these players' particular game style. And it always was to wait around and then get vehicles or maybe enter the safe zone somewhere else, but always wait for the safe zone predict and wait inside the gas zone a lot of times.
Now we see Nitrox trying to gather some loot over there. We saw an AC-80 not being taken by those players. That could be a good weapon here in Purgatory, right, Isa?
Yes, it could be. And look at also Black Dragon's Vasco player Easy was using his Car 98K, which is a very strong sniper that is always getting a lot of damage from the players, and it is very easy to play with because
A very precise weapon as well.
yeah, and it attaches to your enemy's chest almost automatically, and that's why it is such a strong weapon in this meta.
And since we lost power in AWM, in Barrett, Car is a nice alternative for the players who want to play the sniper, right?
Yes, definitely, especially double car.
I told you I know about snipers.
Well, good.
I am a good sniper. Now Nitrox is trying to take over the players from Team Liquid, and there are two already out, but Nitrox also lost two players. João and Romeo are on the floor, and they will have to deal with Phoenix and Pedro RS. The grenades are coming from Prozin. Nice! Grenade from Prozin, taking Pedro RS down, and there is only Phoenix to try and bring this team back from the ashes.
Tatu alive until now, did you see that?
Tatu is still alive indeed. He probably will try to bring back one of his teammates. While we see Nitrox taking Team Liquid down, Phoenix will go down for the gas. And Nitrox will leave this fight with all four players still alive, is it?
Yes, and Nitrox already 4 kills. They have a good position in the safe zone, although it's not central, it is good. But it seems that, my fellow Tatu is going back to the lobby, but he was still able to hold a lot of positions. I mean, the rest of his team went down so early in the match, and this Purgatory was a lot slower, if I can say that, than the rest of the matches, which is something to analyze because we are used to Purgatory being a slower map. Teams usually know each other so well in this map that they don't run into each other and keep postponing their confrontations. But at this point, we have Cruzeiro in the best position of the safe zone. And look, Black Dragons Vasco alive, God alive, before alive. And we also have a couple of other teams in the map that I wasn't able to particularly spot.
We have 7 teams, 28 players, which means all teams are full armed, fully squad and full armed for this last 2 or 3 minutes of map as we reach 15.5 minutes into the play. Trap using the grenades, trying to find the players from Vivocade. He now uses the ice to get coverage. He has a Groza, and he can get some shots out. Groza is another really precise weapon, and he can get some shots from afar. We see Giga using the sniper, the AWM, to try to take that gut from behind the ice, try to break the ice, as the guys try to do with the girls on the nightclubs, but usually they're not capable of. Giga, with the AWM, he takes some shots, he takes some damage from that gut, and the grenades are coming in. Some shots coming from above, and Salles puts to do FFX down. Trap finds the grenade onto Nando 9. Now he will try to finish him off with another grenade. He's wide open. He used the chrono to protect himself, trying to find Modestia over there. He broke the ice, but Modestia is still alive. He will be put down by another player from Cruzeiro, and Vivocade will be sent back to the lobby. Now we have the fight between B4 and Vasco, and B4 just wiped out, just destroyed Vasco in the 5th position. Jubinha will go down by the safe zone, but he's close, and he will be brought up by his teammates. B4 lost one of the players in that fight. 13 players remaining. Cruzeiro with a good positioning and then 5 kills. Trap just put himself down with the grenade launcher. He hit the ice and took the damage. More grenades coming in. God Unidas trying to hold Cruzeiro, and once again God Unidas in the top 4. 2 Buyas, 1 second place finish, and now they are in the top 4. They have Rigby and Mike. Mike went down to the floor. Now Rigby is wide open and exposed. This could be the worst result for God Unidas in this day, and they are in the top 4. What a day by God Unidas. We see Eric putting down Shinez, holding before away from the fight, while 00 Nation tries to improve their record that started poorly today. Cruzeiro tries to go over and rush the players from 00 Nation, but Rush was sent down, and they had to stop, which allowed the 00 Nation to close the gap and maybe try to get to this fight. Oh my God, 1-9! What an incredible shot to taking down 2 players! Now, only Iago surviving 4v4. The fight going on between Cruzeiro and 00 Nation. 1-9 is the one trying to take Rush down. He will put Rush to sleep, and the shots coming from Iago trying to take down the last remaining player from 00 Nation. He takes the kill onto Eric. There is Nicholas still standing. He was brought up by 1-9, and it's Iago against 2 players from 00 Nation. He's being harmed by the safe zone as well, and he will try to go in, but he will not be able to. So it's a boo! Yeah, 00 Nation! What an ending by 1-9! The One Punch Man only needed indeed 1 punch to take down all the squad from Cruzeiro and bring 00 Nation to the doors of the heaven to take their first Booyah in Serie A history.
Yes, what an end game in this match. 1-9 was able to take down, I think, 3 players from Cruzeiro with only 1 bullet of his grenade launcher, but also 1 player in Cruzeiro, I think Giga actually, was also with a grenade launcher, so the fight could have gone a very different way, especially if they had any ice walls. I don't know if they did or didn't, but it was possible for Cruzeiro to really turn the situation around. Also, in the very ending, I really thought Iago was going to take both players, because 1-9, he had just a little scrap of life.
He was with an inch of life.
Yeah, he was like with 20 HP or something like that. And when he
brought
saved,
up Nicholas.
Yeah, when he saved Nicholas, Nicholas was also very, very low on life. And that was a very good situation for Iago, but still I don't think he had all the information, so he wasn't able to take both players down. But still, 00 Nation in the first position with 21 points, 1-9 being the MVP of this match. Thanks, Cias. Finally, you were the MVP. And second place goes to Cruzeiro, 15 points. Third place, B4. And B4 did very well now, comparing to the other matches. Vivocade also did better. God Unidas did worse, but still good, which is something to say about them. Because
top 4 in positioning, top 5 in points. Great job by God Unidas.
Black Dragons Vasco did better, but not as good as we were hoping to, and not as good as they needed to. And now we are going to check the other side of the standings of this match.
What scares me, Loud is still not on the first page.
Oh my God. And you know what? I haven't even thought about them until you brought up, and that's how little we are seeing of them that I nearly forgot that they were in this match.
And we had for the first time, we don't have Flux on the first page as well.
Flux and Loud.
They are in the last spots, both of the teams, with no points in this fourth map, which allows God Unidas to increase their difference in the leadership against Fluxo, which brings some teams up. Vivocade will be back on the fight for the top 3. We have B4 coming back for the fight on the top 3. And we got to check the standings for you guys and for us to understand the picture of the day as we reach the end of the 4th map. The teams that are playing today were on the screen, and now we have God Unidas now 15 points ahead of Fluxo. They were only 8 points, and 0-0 Nation reaching the 3rd position.
Yes, the standings are changing very quickly because we are so early on the championship, but we are starting to see the formation of these standings, and Loudi is still with 10 points, 0 points for them this match. Fluxo is in a good position even though they had a very bad match. And we really like to see these teams that are on the bottom half of the standings doing better. This was the time to really change their game. But also we have to remember this is only the first day. I've said that like 3 times, but
it's a valid point.
It's a valid point. And before fitting in a better game, while some teams are just in that intermediary position, trying to fit in a good game, but not fitting in such a bad game to the point that they are too bad in the standings.
And of course, we know that a good day could change the history of those teams that are on the bottom 3, but 3 teams that we expected a lot on the bottom of the table: Vasco, Team Liquid, and Loud.
Yes. This is definitely 3 teams that I wouldn't bet that would be in the bottom of the charts, but still, Black Dragons Vasco, I believe that they will be able to fit in their game. Maybe not today, which is not that important. This is the first day of our season 7, but still there's a lot more game to go on, and with that we have so much space for these teams to fit in their game and get better performances. That anyway, if your team isn't doing so well, you can be very hopeful that it is going to be still.
So we'll go for a really quick break this time, only 1 minute, and we'll be right back. I told you it was quick. You didn't even miss me.
And we are back.
We're back. We're back live to bring you guys the emotions of the 5th map of the day, the 2nd Kalahari map of the day, and the map number 400 in the career of Mr. LBFF, Japa BKR. We gotta talk about this man.
Yes, he is really one of the players, if not the player with the most history in the Free Fire, in the Brazilian Free Fire competitive scenario, and it is amazing what he's doing, getting to 400 matches.
400 matches, the player with the more matches in the history of LBFF. The second player to reach 400 kills in LBFF, and currently the player with the most kills in the history of the competition. Kudos to Japa BKR, you're part of the history of this competition. You're a legend, my man. I take my hat to you. If I was wearing a hat, I would take it off.
And the team captain for Fluxus, so we always have to remember that.
Two-time champion, the man with the most titles in
yes,
the history of LBFF.
And he might be going to the World Series this season. Let's see about that.
We will see, because this season will qualify one team directly to the World Series, and we'll send one team for the group ins of the World Series that will take place in Sentosa, my favorite drop call forever. And if the boss wants to send me to Sentosa, I would not be mad with it, right?
Well, I would speak a little bit of the language there. I speak a lot.
I will try.
I speak a lot of the language there.
You do?
Yeah.
So let's try to speak it on the air because we're clear to take off, so let's hit the skies! Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight R1D5 heading straight to Kalahari. This is your captain, Marcelo Ferrantini, and by my side, my co-pilot Isa invites you to loosen your seatbelts, fasten your boards, because it's time to drop, Isa!
Time to drop. Let's see if Netshoes Miners and Black Dragons Vasco will engage again in any drop call fights. But right now, we are seeing that yes, indeed, they are still in the region of chambers, while all the other squads go to their preferred drop calls alone. So we have one single drop call fight in the map right now, and we already see Hender with his AK-47 in his hands, and he might take down a player.
Now the shots are coming in from Hick. Once again, those players are disputing this chamber drop call. Once again, Vasco trying to take the center of the chamber, and Netshoes Miners using the satellite spots to position themselves. The last time it happened, Vasco took a risk and went for a fight they should not go in, but now this time they take Rick away as quickly as possible. Natividade is coming over trying to take his teammate back on its feet. Broilo also goes down. Hender finally showing up his skills onto this game. Easy will put two players down!
Easy, easy.
Doing it easy, making it look easy because he's easy.
And he's in my FF squad.
He's in your FF squad, indeed. And now he is trying to rotate because he knows that there is only one player left in this Netshoes Miners squad. 2 times those teams faced off. 1 time, Netshoes Miners wiped out Vasco, left only 1 player of Vasco remaining. And Netshoes Miners now go back to the lobby. Hender bringing the banner, Chucky bringing the banner. Vasco takes the chamber for themselves, Isa.
Yes, and now they just said, no, this is our drop call. We may have died here in the first match, but we won't do it again. And what a play by Easy. He was able to take down 3 players, if I'm not mistaken. And their strategy right now seemed to have gone a lot better. And maybe it is because in this match, Hender was able to get to weapons very quickly, very early in the fall, and also Easy. So they were able to knock down a couple of players very early in the drop call fight.
And now Team Liquid is trying to take Vasco onto the chamber.
What I told you. That's what I told you.
That's what you told me. You know this game. You know this game. And I know you know this game. You're a great commentator. That's why you're by my side.
Yay.
Do you think I'd take a half-assed commentator by my side? That will never happen, bro.
I'll take that as a compliment.
That is a compliment. You're good. You know you're good. And now we see Team Liquid taking away
Retreating.
Maybe they thought that they could join that fight from afar, and they probably didn't expect Vasco to not have lost a player and to be expecting this rotation.
Yes, I really think they thought they would get Black Dragons off guard, but Black Dragons Vasco proving that they have studied, they did study their drop call fights, because it is a behavior typical of a team that is expecting that another team is going to be aiming for them. So Black Dragons Vasco, congratulations for the technical team. That was very smart, and as soon as they ended the fight, they were already aiming for their enemies. And now we see Fluxo in the region of Foundation, their standard call, and they didn't leave that region so far, but probably they're going to leave very soon. Someone bought a lot of vests over there.
Someone will be wearing fur coats of vests over there.
I think maybe he thought that if he bought 3 2-leveled vests, he would get a vest level 6, maybe.
Probably adding vests after vests after vests will give you more defense. And we're talking about Vasco and the defense that they had by the chamber, the control of the positioning. It's important to talk about the players. For the people that don't know the team that is coming from Serie B, they have 2 really talented guys in Hender and Easy, 2 players that fought for the MVP of Serie B. Hender was the MVP of Serie B last season. Easy was not further behind Hender. And Chucky and Leno are 2 players that complete that squad perfectly. it's a team that comes from Serie B, but it's a team with qualities to fight for the title of Serie A.
Yes, it is just a matter of time until they adapt to the Serie A game, which is very different from the B series. But it's going to take a little while for them to fully adapt. But still, it is
little while.
still it's completely possible, and they are now aiming at Lounge, which maybe Lounge is going to go after Black Dragons Vasco because they died in the hands of Black Dragons Vasco in the Purgatory match. So maybe there's a little revenge going on there. Let's see how this goes. Black Dragons Vasco, the current kill leader in this match.
The current kill leaders, the current champions of Serie B.
Yes.
A team that dominated Serie B throughout the whole season and got their access deservingly. And now they take control of the chamber. They are close to Loudon. They have information. Chucky saw the rotation from Noda.
I
Noda
do
that
think it
came
did.
into play.
So Lounge changed their casting, right? Because you saw Noda playing.
Yeah, it was Noda down there.
So they changed their casting because the first couple of matches,
He was not playing.
Will was playing in the place of Noda.
But we gotta check if they took out Will or if they took out maybe Lost.
Yeah, maybe.
We got to check this out.
We also need to check out if this is going to affect positively the performance of Lounge, which definitely needs to.
Will is in play, and now he is not in play anymore. He was killed by Chucky. It probably was Lost that went out, or maybe Kronos. Loud played without Kronos a few times last season. They tried to make this work with Will and Brabox working as dual rushers. And this time, maybe Kronos was the one out. And don't forget to check out our warm-up before every round of LBFF in our official channel. Now we see Trap trying to find the players by their side. We see Vivocade over there. Modestia is hiding behind the ice. Once again, Vivocade for being protagonists of fights mid-game. We're seeing it a lot during this day. And this time it's against Cruzeiro. Menor is rotating, trying to find a good spot to fight against Vivocade. But Giga is flanking
Very good
really
position.
well, in a great position. He might surprise his teammates. We see now another reviving Will. Floud is once again with their 4 players back in the game. And Vivocade is now flanked by both sides. We see Trap using the grenade. He almost found the grenade near Nando 9. He almost beat Nando 9 over there. While Giga is in a great position to avoid the run from the Vivocade players, to avoid them from leaving the spot. And once again, our Portuguese broadcast using Windows 95 sounds to point out some on the map.
And I would just like to point out that Vivocade is having a very aggressive posture compared to what they used to, but look at
And
that!
look at Giga! The good positioning now sends down one of the players and allows Cruzeiro to rush in. Rush will put Nando 9 down. Menor brings Modestia to the floor. What a great fight from Cruzeiro. Now General and that guy are being forced to retreat. The grenade launcher shots from Trap will not find General. He has his sights onto the last player of Vivocade. General is trying to go over. The chrono is used by Trap. He tries to go over, but the landmine took down one player. It was rushed, but it was not enough. Vivocade will go down and go back to the lobby with no points. They were trying to get to the top 3, but now they are in the bottom 2 of this map, Isa.
Yes, and what a rush for Cruzeiro. Cruzeiro, that is a new team. It consists basically of very experienced players, but still is a new team. Giga and Rush were already playing last season, but the other players came from other teams, and we have a good performance for them so far. As we talked a little bit about, teams that didn't play in the last season need a little bit time adapting, except for Godji, who is doing an amazing job. But look at that, Fluxo again in this platform. I think they really are going to rent that platform because they just don't get out of it.
That exact platform was the platform that took Fluxo to the top of the standings in Kalahari. They were one of the best teams in
Yes, they
Kalahari
love that platform. They
last
love.
season. They love that they work well and they do know when to go out of it. They do know
Yes.
when to leave their spot and fight in the end of the matchup. And I will get the information over here. I've got this in my scribbles on how many points Fluxo had last season in Kalahari. I'm just checking this out because there are lots and lots of things for me to look. And my computer is not helping me right now. But let's check this out. I'm getting to it. But Fluxo was indeed one of the best maps in Kalahari last season. They were the third best map in Kalahari last season with 226 points in 24 drops.
Very good punctuation.
This is a really good punctuation. They were only behind Corinthians and Team Coda Solid. Corinthians is not playing today, and Team Coda Solid is no longer in the league. But to have a team that dominates that fairly well in a map, doing the same thing that they did last season, and getting to the top 3 in the first Kalahari map of the day, it shows that Fluxo knows how to play this map, isn't it?
Yes, but and also shows that the teams have grown accustomed to Fluxo always being in the platform, and they choose not to contest it because I'm sure that the teams in Brasilia, like before or in other groups, other teams, but I'm sure that they know that Fluxo always takes that platform because they study so well all teams, and still they choose not to contest it because Fluxo is such a strong team.
They are indeed, and in Kalahari, it seems that they get even stronger. But a team that is really strong in Kalahari as well is before they must take that spot in the refinery, because when they are up there, they seem invincible.
Yes, that's true, and we see a real a lot of teams in the refinery region, in the refinery area, which means that probably the safe zone is going towards that area. But I said that in Bermuda, and I wasn't right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and guess that it's going to be around there, the safe zone. But all teams right now are in that calm part of the match in which they try to really aim their enemies and build their resources so they can get to the end game as strong as they can. And right now we are seeing Nitrox in the screen, apparently just looking for enemies, right?
Just taking their spot, just taking their positioning. And we still have 10 teams, 40 players, all teams with all 4 players alive. As we reach 13 minutes into this matchup, the action is about to start, is it?
Yes, it is about to start, and we have Black Dragons Vasco still in that area in which we have some favelinhas, like the players like to call it, because it looks a little bit like a Brazilian favela. And we have 40 players alive at this point, which is a lot. 10 teams still, and everyone seems to be really holding up to that end game point.
Shoutouts to Tanjot Deol from India. Love to India. Abhijit Makur is also here with us. Gabriel Lima. Suhaib Navet, also from India. And Paulo saying go Fluxo. Now we have Garunidas getting closer to the refinery. We probably have the safe zone closing to that wide open area by the foot of the refinery hill, right?
Yes, right. And Goji again coming strongly for an end game. But this match is very unpredictable because we have so many teams still alive, and the safe zone is a little good for all of them. It isn't ideal for most of them, but it is good enough. So we are going to really have that moment in the final safe zones in which a bunch of teams encounter each other at the same time. Like right now, it's going to start happening.
Now Cruzeiro and Vasco facing each other. One player from Vasco already went back to the lobby as Giga tries to take down more players, but before he's joining that fight and taking Trap to the floor, Chucky is down and he will be sent back to the lobby because Giga has his sights on him. Menor will put Henry to sleep. There's only one player to fight for Vasco, it's Leno. He tries to hold on, he puts Giga to the floor, and Cruzeiro will be sent down. Oh my god, Kawan finds Leno, and Cruzeiro goes down to the safe zone. They could not take the last player from Vasco. It fell to the hand of Loud. And finally, after 2 maps, Loud finds a point to their hands, and Vasco and Cruzeiro goes out at the same time, Isa.
Yes, and we saw Lost was casted out of Loud, and now they're having a better performance, at least until this point, but we are still up to see. Maybe he hasn't adapted so much, but we are going to expect that aggressive gameplay style from Loud. While still we have a safe zone that was a little bit shifted towards the west of the map, and it is very interesting to see how the players are going to react.
Look at Thiago! Sorry, Isa, to interrupt you, but look at what the man is doing! 2 kills for Iago, the kill leader in this Kalahari map for the Season 6. He was the man with the most kills. He gets the triple onto the players of Loud. He uses the grenade to try to get the last shot. Gadonidas also loses a player to Jubinha with a good shot. It was Miguel who went down. Marreta will put Iago to sleep, and before now has to work with 3 players. Fluxo is by the foot of the hill, and Kawan will be eliminated. Loud loses their all players, and they are back on the lobby. 0-0 Nation also going after the players from Real, trying to use the ice. Real was the team that got the booyah on the first Kalahari map of the day, and they will be sent back to the lobby on the 7th position in this matchup. We see 1-9 patching up his wounds, trying to get some more health for the remainder of this matchup. 6 teams, 21 players. This is gonna be wild by the send of Kalahari. Gadonidas still have their 4 players remaining. Nice grenade, dealing lots of damage to Ousado and Fac. We see Fenix over there, Romeo trying to use the grenade, and Lobato with the grenade launcher shot, he took himself down. He puts Boss to sleep, but he takes himself down as well, and he will eliminate Boss. From Team Liquid, 2 players to fight for before once again having trouble leaving the refinery. As we said on the first map, they got 6 kills, but most of those kills came from when they were on the top of that standings, and they are down on the hands of Nitrox. Fluxo will also go down. Gadonidas still alive, still on the top 4. 5 maps, they were every time in the top 4. What a day from Gadonidas to start their season, their comeback season in Serie A. Romeo will put 1-9 to sleep. Now only 1 player to fight for 0-0 Nation, it's Nicholas. Nitrox has all their players uphill, and they have 6 kills. Good match by Nitrox top 10 as well, Isa.
Yes, good match for them. I am shocked with the performance of Gadonidas, and we are seeing right now a typical Purgatory Refinery safe zone, which was very, very crowded.
Now we have Nitrox, Team Liquid, and Gadonidas. MTS and Fenix is still alive, trying to reach the grenades onto the players of Nitrox. João uses the ice to protect himself. The safe is closing. Mike and Marreta will have to run for Gadonidas. Nitrox has a good positioning and can fight for the booyah. Salis will put Mike to sleep. Only 1 player, and Gadonidas is sent back to the lobby. Now it's Nitrox against 2 players from Liquid. The advantage is Nitrox, and they use it! So it's a booyah, Nitrox! An exemplary game by Nitrox, taking the positioning, defending it with everything they can, taking kills, getting points. Great job, and Nitrox top 10 leaves the 0 out of their booyah board. They start the day with a great booyah, Isa.
Yes, great booyah by Nitrox. They're going to be able to get a little bit up in the standings, and as we are talking about Nitrox, I would just like to point out that we have Prozin, a very strong player that came as the Before champion, as a
One of the highlights of Before this season.
One of the highlights of Before. coming to Nitrox and making the team this much more experienced, and good performance for them.
Even though he's young, he's an experienced
So
player.
young, he looks like 12.
He's a baby. And now we see Nitrox 22 points, 0-0 Nation. Once again, a good job by 0-0 Nation. 12 points before with 11, Team Liquid and God Unidas with 10 points. And Vasco, because of the fight against, in the beginning of the match, and the points that they got against Cruzeiro, in the 6th position with 8 kills. And Salles, the player that came from Amazon Crips to Nitrox with 4 kills, the MVP of the match.
Yes, great for Salles. And we have a very diverse day so far. God Unidas was the only team that was constantly doing well. Fluxo is a little ups and downs. It's all about ups and downs, and they were like that the past season. And right now they're showing that this is still one of the main characteristics of Fluxo. They are a team that is very strong and very aggressive, which leads to sometimes doing very well in a match and getting a booyah with a lot of eliminations. And sometimes they don't win that fight, whatever it is, and go home early.
But what's impressing me the most is God Unidas. The consistency from those guys, 5 matches, all matches inside of the top 4. 2 booyahs, a 2nd place, a 3rd place, and a 4th place. Incredible job by God Unidas.
Yes, incredible job. And it is really a point where we have to congratulate the team and Marreta, especially because of his call. This is very difficult. It's very difficult to be a captain in the A series. But just imagine to be a captain in the A series just coming from the B series. So it is just a completely new level of difficulty, and Marreta is killing it. He is doing very well. God Unidas is coming so strongly, and I hope their performance keeps up.
And we gotta check out the standings to see how further away from Fluxo they are right now. The standings will be coming on the screen. They got to 71 points. Go God, 19 points ahead of Fluxo. And now Nitrox is in the top 3. They get to 50 points, tie with 0-0 Nation, but in the tie-breaking criteria, they have more kills than 0-0 Nation, so now they are in the 3rd position, is it?
Yes, we have Nitrox Sports with 50 points alongside with 0-0 Nation with 50, as well as you said before in the 5th place with 44 points, Cruzeiro with 36, Vivo Cage with 34, Team Liquid also with 34, and Black Dragons Vasco with 33.
Loud still on the last place on the table. We'll be right back after a quick break to bring you guys the last map of the day. We're going to Bermuda. I gotta complain with our crew that I didn't even have time to go to the bathroom. That break was really fast, and we are back live to bring you guys the emotions of the last map of the day. A day that surprisingly is being dominated by God Unidas. You see here the booyah on the first map, here the booyah on the 3rd map, and they are destroying it here today, isn't it?
Yes, as you were pointing, I was looking at your finger and trying to see, like, what's his point?
I was pointing God Unidas.
Yeah,
God Unidas.
now I realize it, but I was looking at you.
I have virtual reality on my eye.
Anyways, we also have one of the highlights of this day is 0 Nation doing well, not in the top of the chart, but they're doing very well in their team that are debuting today. So, good performance for them.
We're seeing good things from teams debuting today. Garonida is not debuting, but coming back from Serie B, leading the score. 0 Nation in the top 3. Vasco showing us some prowess in moments where we don't expect them to win, like they did against Netshoes Miners on the chamber in this matchup, like they did against Loud in the first map of the day. The teams that are coming from Serie B are showing prowess in Serie A right now.
Yes, definitely. And I'm really looking forward to see how this Bermuda is going to go, because we are in the last match of the day, and that is going to define finally our standings, which is going to be very interesting to analyze. And remembering that tomorrow tomorrow we will be having groups A against C, and we will see groups A, how they react to group C is going to be very interesting. And I would like to take a look in the standings. Which group is doing better, do you think? Group A or Group B?
I'm gonna check this out. I gotta use my Scrabbles here to check this out, but
I'm gonna check my mind and then I'll come
do
back.
it. But let's check this out. We have on Group A, the teams that are on Group A right now are Before Cruzeiro, Netshoes, Miners, Nitrox, Team Liquid, and Vivocate. Group B has 0 Nation, Vasco, Fluxo, God Unidas, Loud, and Real. So I believe Group B is doing better right now.
I mean, it's almost like Group B has the top of the chart, but the Group A is more leveled.
So we're clear to take off, so let's hit the skies! Ladies and gentlemen, from flight R1D6 heading straight to Bermuda. This is your captain, myself, Antina, and my co-pilot, Isa, invites you to loosen your seatbelts, fasten your boards, because it's time to drop, Isa!
And I am amazed how fast you can speak when the pilot is in the plane, because it almost sounds like you're speaking at like the 2x speed on the audios, which is very, very funny, very amusing to me. But right now we aren't seeing any drop call fights. No, I'm wrong. Cruzeiro is insisting on falling in Fluxo's preferred drop call and standard drop call, that is Peak. So we are going to see a drop call fight again, and make your bets, because Fluxo and Cruzeiro aren't retreating.
We might see a fight between Loud and Vasco also by the shipyard.
Bullseye.
Bullseye shipyard over there. We see Cruzeiro and Fluxo on the peak. This might be a faster Bermuda than what we had on the first map of the day.
Yes, it might, but I highly doubt it, just because of the revival. If the revival wasn't a resource available, I would agree with you. But Fluxo seems to be very confident towards that call, and they are already going in the direction of Cruzeiro.
They are going after the players from Cruzeiro. They took it to the hearts. They went better against Cruzeiro in the first map of the day, and now we see 0 Nation rotating and getting to the observatory, which is a spot that lots of teams go through their rotation, and if they stay on the observatory, they might trap some teams trying to go over.
Yes, and that region of the map has a lot of launchers, which is why it is so easy to get to the back of a rush, to get into a three-way fight. It is very easy for the players to get to the launcher and just jump whatever they feel like there is a confrontation going on. But right now the map is a little bit calmer. I am still waiting for the point in which Cruzeiro and Fluxo are going to finally engage in that fight. But we are seeing God very, very, very calmly making the loot of Sentosa alone, completely alone, and still with a blue zone, which is very interesting.
Like they're playing today, they are trying to get used to Sentosa. They won the World Series. And of course, don't miss any games here, any matches here, because every map matters for the teams that want to be in the World Series. In Sentosa, in the real life, in Indonesia,
Yes.
where Sentosa...
Who wouldn't want to go to Sentosa, right?
I think I'd accept it. I'd say okay.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't
Maybe.
really want it.
I'm gonna
but-
check my schedule. I'll see if I don't
Yeah.
have nails that day, if I don't have to get the manicure and the pedicure.
Well, we saw Fluxo retreating from their own call because they're already in the Pushnoki area, getting close to Mars Electric, and still we haven't had a sight of where Cruzeiro is at this point, but they are probably very far away from each other, which means that in this match, Fluxo and Cruzeiro kind of divided the load of Pique and just went their separate ways.
They just agreed to disagree and went away from each other. And now we see Fluxo rotating. Japa BKR, who now has 401 maps played in his career.
What
is
a
rotating.
record.
What a record. What a record. And his brother, Dead God, now has 399 maps played.
Well, as I said, Dad God is one of the oldest players in the championship, and he and his brother have made history. And Japa BKR and Dad God's mother is the true champion because she's 3 times champion of the LBFF.
Her mother have cheered for 800 maps. 401 from Japa, 399 from Dead God.
Yes, his mother is really the ultimate champion of the LBFF.
She's the true hero. But now Romeo is trying to become the hero, fighting against Fluxo, and he was almost trampled by his teammate. Now he's rotating, trying to hold on the players from Fluxo away from his teammates. He's trying to find Cias, and he gets the shot. Nice shot by João by the side of Romeo, putting Cias to sleep, and they will send Cias back to the lobby. The first blood goes to the hands of Nitrox. They just got the booyah, and now they are pressuring Fluxo, trying to get some points.
Yes, very aggressive character. And we had Cias going back to the lobby, who was, until now, probably the most valuable player of the day. But now we are seeing Vivo Cage is still engaging in aggressive gameplays, which is so interesting to see because it is such a traditional team as well. And they are champions of the LBFF, so we always love to see them engaging in fights, and this time is with 0-0 Nation that is doing well today as well.
Let's see if Vivocade will take them down. Vivocade, that, I repeat it, has the record for the most points in a single map in a Bermuda map. It was incredible in LBFF Season 5. And now Fluxo tries to hold Nitrox from running from them. They took Salis down. They exchanged the kill from Cias. And now they're trying to rush over. We see Ousado getting closer and closer to João, splitting the eyes. And now Ousado goes for the leap, tries to take João, but there's another player, and Ousado will take João with the Max 7. Now it's a 3 versus 2 fight in favor of Fluxo, bringing a fight back. Romeo is over there, and Ousado will finish off for João. Romeo takes damage from Japa BKR, shooting from afar, and Nitrox will try to use the building to protect themselves, but Prozin brings it back, sends Ousado to sleep, put him to the floor. He's protected by ice, and Fak cannot find the shots onto Prozin. Now he shows up a little bit, and Fak tries the shots, but not able to hit it. Grenades coming in. Fak is forced to rotate through the building, while Japa BKR is over there trying to find a good shot as well in Prozin. Ousado will go to the floor, will go back to the lobby. Romeo gets the nice capa onto Japa BKR, and now Fak is doing all by himself. Romeo! Romeo! 2 nice headshots to send Fluxo back to the lobby with only 1 point on their hands. God Unidas is tanking Nitrox a lot right now, Isa.
Yes, and really, Romeo, wow. He was mainly the main responsible for Nitrox being able to win this fight over Fluxo, and Fluxo almost turned the situation because they lost Tias at the very beginning of the confrontation, and still they were able to eliminate Salles, and then it was a 3 versus 3 until Romeo was able to take down Japa BKR and who was also
And Fak.
and Faki.
It was a 3 versus 2 fight for Fluxo. Prozin took down Ousado, and
Yes,
then
that's
Romeo
true.
took down the two
So
remaining
it was
players.
a very difficult confrontation for both teams. They were at all times being very disruptive of each other. But now we have Nitrox saving their fellows, and this is how important the revival is being, because Nitrox will be able to fit in a good match if they get to the end still alive, but probably didn't have enough coins to buy off all of their partners, because I only saw one of them being revived. And we are seeing Netshoes Miners, who is Natividade with 10 grenades. Did you see that?
10 grenades, and he
Yeah.
is a great grenadier.
Yes.
We gotta talk about it. And we see Peusada with no grenades, but an explosive purple hair that is amazing.
Yes. Purple as the Netshoes strain.
Yeah, as the Night Shoe strain. Great hair by Peusada. I envy him. Now we see the players from Real holding their spot by the edge of the dam, while Cruzeiro tries to hold the door for them away from the safe zone.
It's going to be very hard for Real to get out of that place, and they are going to have to be in the gas zone a lot of time, which is going to really harm their rotation. But that's if Cruzeiro doesn't go after them for the entire time, because I can see a little bit of a renderization very far away from Cruzeiro, but right now it seems that Cruzeiro is going to give up.
They are not going to fight. They will try to leave, and they will go through the safe, the gas, and leave Real to cross the bridge or to defend that bridge, defend that dam as much as they want. But now we see Vivocate approaching before. Vivocate is engaging into early to mid-game fights. They are playing aggressively, but they are still not finding the best results onto those fights, is it?
Yes, that's true. And we also saw that, oh, look, Real was able to successfully get out of that bad situation. And we see Black Dragons Vasco, that fell in Shipyard, still in there, and now they're engaging in a confrontation, Marcelo.
Let's check this out once again. Cruzeiro and Vasco going at each other. Let's see how this will happen, because Render is trying to hold the players from Cruzeiro as they rush onto the players from Vasco. They are trying to use the pad over there to go over, and Render will go down after he takes Giga down, but Chucky tried to go over. Hush, another takedown for Hush, and he will get the kill, but Leno brings it back, puts Rush to the floor. Cruzeiro has 2 players down, while Vasco tries to approach and bring back this fight. Reno and Leno and Render get the
Reno?
kills. Reno is the name of the duo. It's
Yeah.
the ship. It's Reno. It's Reno and Cheesy. Chuck and Easy.
What? That's good.
Reno and Cheesy.
Cheesy's really good. I like it.
But now we see Garonidas going for their usual rotation. They are playing safely. It's good to see that a team that is playing safely is being able to get some points and get to the top of the standings, because it shows that there are lots and lots of ways for you to be a good team in LBFF, right?
Yes. And now we see Loud engaging in a fight. It is not early in the match. It is the time to engage in fight, especially because Netshoes Minor seems to be out of hand with a couple other players.
But let's check out Noda doing his best to take out the pressure from the Netshoes Miners. Him and Kawan will send the 2 remaining players from Netshoes back to the lobby, and Loud will
0-0
remain
Nation
with the
getting
points, but 0-0 Nation is getting closer. Kronos tries to hold the advance from the players of 0-0 Nation. Lucky God is down below the house, while Kawan tries to hold on, and he puts Eric to the the floor. He gets the position and uses the ice quadra kill onto the hands of Kawan. Quietly doing an incredible job for this Loud squad, finally having a good match. Nicholas will put Kronos to sleep with the grenade. Noda tries to rotate and he will put Nicholas to the floor. Great job by Noda. Now getting the points. 1-9 shows up with the Baobao trying to get the shots, but the Baobao is nerfed. He puts Kawan down, but Noda brings it back. Thank God Noda is back onto display.
And that is what we wanted to see all along, Loud playing that aggressive gameplay, but now it seems like they're gonna be punished.
It seems that they will be punished by Vasco da Gama. Easy coming with the car, taking down a player. And there is only Noda to fight. Hender will take it and Leno will finish it off. Loud once again eliminated by Vasco. That tries to rotate. They still have 3 players remaining, 4 kills onto their hands, Isa.
Yes, Vasco that had a very good game vision at this point, because they saw the Loud team engaging in a fight and they immediately went after it. And right now the safe zone pulls a little bit to the zone of how do you call the city?
Catulishwa.
I'm gonna say Catu. I'm just gonna say
It's
Catu.
okay. It's okay.
So everybody in the broadcast, look, Catu
It's Catulishwa.
is okay.
Catulishwa.
Catu is the battlefield for our next safe zone. And right now, all teams are aiming into their adversaries, trying to pick up kills, because we are on the 3rd safe zone.
FF Chevon is here, saying love from Jamaica. We all love Jamaica. And now Team Liquid is taking down the players from Cruzeiro. Cruzeiro that is betting on the use of pads, and they are taking real problems because of that usage of pads. Twice they were attacked while they were trying to fly, and now there's only 1 player remaining for this Cruzeiro squad. It was Trap over there trying to hold this team alive, while Team Liquid now holds Real from rotating. Nitrox also dealing with God Unidas. 2 players down from God in this fight against Real. Now against Nitrox. Let's see the fight going on between Team Liquid and Real. Butch will come over. The big dog is coming in. The Pitbull is coming in. But Boss will send Antunes back to the lobby. They try to rotate. Boss will put MTS will put JapXL also to the floor. Phoenix gets the kill, but VM7 with the grenade sends MTS to sleep, and he will send him back to the lobby. Tries to get some points, and Real will be eliminated in the 8th position. 15 minutes into the match. Still 7 teams to fight the last fight, Isa.
Yes, Catu is very crowded at this point, while Black Dragon Vasco has a good position. I think they lost one of their players, but still they have a very good position, very strong position in the safe zone. And Team Liquid, if they are able to eliminate Nitrox right now, will also be very good in the match. But Phoenix is already on the ground.
It was Cruzeiro that was eliminated, but Nitrox is trying to hold on the players from Team Liquid. Lots of damage coming through, and Prozin finds the grenade, but Chucky is the one to take Boot down. Vasco is also coming for this fight against Team Liquid and Nitrox. Chucky will finish off Boot and get the point, and Team Liquid will go down by the grenade of Prozin. Nice job by the youngster, the experienced youngster, into this matchup. 5 teams still remaining. God Unidas loses his player and falls to the 5th position. But still a great result by God Unidas. Vivocade will go down before still have their 4 players. But the positioning is not that good for them. They will have to go uphill to try and fight against Vasco and Nitrox. They are fighting each other. They might not find the rise from the players of before. Chucky gets the shot on João. 2 players down by Nitrox. They will have to fight a 3v2 fight, and Nitrox will be taken down. Iago finish off Salles, and Vasco gets a point. 9 kills onto the hands of Vasco. Easy, Render and Chucky still on the fight. It's a 3v4 fight before they have the advantage, but they don't have the positioning advantage. They will have to use the grenades uphill, while Vasco is throwing them downhill. But Lobato has a grenade launcher, and Chinese found the shot on Chucky. The grenades are coming in. Lobato tries to hold on to himself. He breaks the ice. He's going after Easy and Hender. Lobato will send Hender to the floor, and before has a 4v1 fight to win. Quadra kill by Chinese. There's only Easy to fight for Vasco. He tries to rotate, but he's not able to, so it's a before! With a great job by Lobato and by the MVP. She does it all! Before the champions get their first booyah in the first day of LBFF Season 7 is
The last booyah of our day, and they got 8 eliminations. And of course, I have to say, Black Dragons Vasco's second place with 9 eliminations. So very good performance for both teams that weren't doing very well today. We always love to see teams that don't have a very good performance in the day doing better, because it really makes our standings so much messier, and that is great. We love it.
It's really better, and we got to check out the highlights and the confirmation of the points for this last map of the day, because Vasco probably took the lead in points in this matchup because of the number of kills. They had 9 kills to finish off the map, and we got to see how close before were to them, if before maybe took the lead from them. We had God Unidas finishing all maps in the top 5, and they took the lead before they indeed took the lead from Vasco with the booyah.
Yes, and Chinese was the MVP of this match, of this Bermuda, with 4 kills before making amazing 20 points, which will get them very far in the standings. Black Dragons Vasco with 18, alongside with Nitrox with 16, Team Liquid with 10, Loud with 10, their best match yet. And we saw a beautiful rush right now on the screen with Kawan and Noda. That duo is going to be a lot of work for their enemies once they really are able to fit their squad properly. And we have Team Liquid, a very strong team filled with great players that are always in the MVP. In the 6th position, if I'm not wrong, and now God in 7th. This is their worst match, isn't it?
Their worst match of the day.
7
indeed.
points.
7 points.
Their worst match, guys. You can see how good they're doing today. Cruzeiro in 8th with 5 points. Real with 4. 0-0 Nation with 2. Fluxo, very bad match again for Fluxo with only 2 points. We see that Fluxo is a team that is a bit bipolar. Usually they either do very well or very bad, but still it's the first day and their performance was good enough. And Netshoes Mariners in the last stand with only 1 point. We also had with 4 kills Kawan and Noda, the duo of Rush that we were just talking about.
Loud getting good points finally to finish off the day, and we'll have the confirmation of all the booyahs that will be coming on the screen for you guys to see. A double booyah to start the season, 2 for God Unidas to start the season, and then we had the other booyahs split around the table, Lisa.
Yes, it's no joke what God played today. We had Real having a good booyah with not many eliminations in Kalahari. 0-0 Nation in Purgatory with a very good match. Nitrox in the second Kalahari. And before making the final booyah that we just saw on our screen. And all of those matches were so eventful. I'm still kind of shocked. But this performance of the teams is going to define our table charts for today.
But we gotta check out some more statistics on the screen, because we have the team of the day coming up on the screen for you guys to check out. Which was the team of the day? We still have no doubt about it. The standings will show us which was the team of the day. They will be showing up on the screen. It was the day of God Unidas.
Well, of course. Who could say that they weren't the best team of the day today? No one could.
And look at who is the second team of the day today. It's Nitrox Esports, quietly amassing 32 kills, 66 points, defending their drop calls and playing patiently before once again resurging as a strength after this last map. Fluxo losing 2 positions because of the bad...
The last matches.
The last matches that were really bad for them. 0-0 Nation in the 5th position. Good job by 0-0 Nation. And BD Vasco in the 6th position. Black Dragons Vasco in the 6th position. Team Liquid, which we expected a lot, in 7th. Vivocade, a former champion team with the same lineup. They won the championship in 9th. And Loud in the last position of the day, 12th position in the standings.
Of course, this is only a sketch of what the real standings are going to look like as soon as we get close to the finals, but I would like to point out that Nitrox and B4 were two teams that were very mixed. Basically, Nitrox and B4 kind of mixed their teams, and both teams are doing very well, which is nice to see.
And it seems that the changes brought up both of the teams, and it's been incredible to see how those teams will fare off against each other. They have similar styles of play right now. They have similar drop calls right now, and this could be a battle for the ages between B4 and between Nitrox top 10. And of course, you guys need to know that tomorrow we'll be here as well at the same time and at the same channel at 1 p.m. here in Brazil. We'll be here tomorrow, and of course I'm waiting for my coordinator to give me the okay, and he gave me the okay. So Isa, it was amazing to start our run here in Serie B.
It was amazing to be here. I am so grateful for you, Marcelo, my partner, and for all of you who are watching our broadcast and praising our Brazilian Free Fire with me. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow, 1 p.m. I'll be waiting.
We'll be waiting for you guys here. And of course, we'll be having lunch with you. The Sunday family lunch will be brought by us for you guys. Thank you for being here. We expect you here tomorrow. And I see you. Let's go, because it's time to drop.